3,
two,
1.
one. Monkey bars.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Thick and Butter Podcast. My name is Alex,
My name is Jesse
aka Thick.
and Butter.
I think that was right.
We have not had a great
No.
track
The
record with that
last
recently.
few, I completely forgot how to do it. I don't know. How many? This is 78 now.
Yeah,
And
78.
We've done that from day one. We haven't
Yeah.
really changed it.
Do you
It's always
remember?
funny, like, we come up with, like, podcast intros. Like, I
Yeah.
think we were sitting next to each other, and I was like, all right, here's how I'm going to say it. My
Yeah.
name is Alex.
See, that's what I was going to ask. Like, do you remember
we
how
should
we
change
decided
it.
that?
I don't
No,
know.
dude, I
Is it
love
time
that
to
so
change, or
much.
should we keep it?
The only reason I would think of changing it is that if we listen to someone else's podcast and it's exactly the same thing.
And
Now,
they
okay.
stole it?
Yeah.
And
Well,
they
they stole.
stole it
Well,
from us?
if we stole it from somebody, like if we stole it from somebody and we didn't know, and they're like
Right.
pretty big, you
Right.
know. But I feel like, well, first of all, who else is called Thick and Butter? You know, thick
No
thick
one.
anime titties is the closest podcast that
What's
is
it
close.
called? What is
thick anime titties. That's the only other thing on Spotify that's close
Is that a
to our
podcast?
podcast. You know, I think it's a playlist. I wish it was a podcast.
Imagine.
It's just a podcast
Welcome
that
to
talks
episode
about
467 of Anime Titties. I'm your host, the Titter Nugget.
Mick Titter.
Titter Nugget.
Mick Titter is such a name of like a high school principal. You know, like
Mick
if
Titter.
that's like
Such
that's
weird name.
if that would be like.
Do you know your principal's name?
I didn't really have principals, so to speak.
Well,
Well,
I did until high school. I didn't really have one in high school.
Yeah.
They were principals, but we didn't call them principals. But in middle school, I had one.
okay, I do actually. I want to hear yours, but I just remembered that I do have two principals.
Uh-huh.
I have three people I can name.
Do you have a
I
gym
have-
teacher?
I did have a gym teacher. His name is Michael Phelps.
No
No,
way.
it wasn't.
Fucking
No,
true.
it was Mr. It wasn't Michael Phelps, but I think his name was Mr. Phelps. I think that was his name.
Really? That's
Yeah,
a
I'm
great
pretty sure.
gym teacher, dude.
He was an asshole.
Yeah.
He was a dick. He had anger problems.
Yeah. A lot of
But
them
my middle school principal, you know, he wasn't called a principal because we were a yuppie school.
Right.
He was Mr. Gabhart was his name.
Gabhart?
Mr. Gabhart. Yeah,
That's pretty
Gabhart.
good. I like
And
that.
then I have in high school, I had Miss Thurstone was my
Dude,
principal.
That's another great name.
And then I had another sort of like second in commander at high school, and her
Yeah.
name was Miss Gorman.
Gorman. Dude,
Yeah.
those are good fucking names.
Miss Gorman was like the principal of the high school campus. And then because I went to my middle school and high school were both called St. Francis, but they were
Yeah.
separate schools. But
Right,
while
right,
I was
right,
there,
right.
they merged, and Miss Thurstone became the big boss lady of both schools.
Oh,
And
shit.
Mr. Gabhart was like the commander chief of the middle school territory, and Miss Gorman became the
What if
commander
you
in
get an
chief.
email from Mr. Gabhart?
Yeah.
It's like, I heard you guys talk about me.
I was pretty close with Mr. Gabhart. He was my
Yeah.
I did theater with him for a while, so like
You did theater?
yeah, he was surprised by that
How do I
too.
not
It is
know
kind of
this?
weird. Well, I don't. It's not like it wasn't a passion of mine, but
Right.
it was just something that I did. Look, I'm not a sports guy. How do you hang out with your friends? You say, all right, we got chess club, we got
so
lacrosse.
Wait, this is something that I didn't know about you. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that You were a theater kid in high school?
I was not only a theater kid, I was a musical theater kid
No
sometimes.
fucking way.
Yeah, I sang on stage.
No way.
Yeah, I did.
Dude,
I
wait,
did.
this is crazy. This is a crazy revelation that I didn't know about my friend. Wait, this
Yeah,
is crazy.
it's
Wait a minute.
true.
All right, now I have like tons of questions.
All right, line them up.
Okay,
I'm ready.
wait, so you did musicals?
Mhm.
Did you ever
Yeah.
like have like what was the biggest role that you were in?
Oh, I never had huge
Like a substantial
roles.
role.
I played a lot. Usually, the kind of roles I would get, it'd never be a lead role, but I would get
I would
like,
be tree number 3.
well, like, see, I
or
wasn't. I was
that's
like
what
a.
I was when I did like 4 plays
See,
ever.
okay, look, I wasn't a tree. I wasn't at tree level. I was like a mid tier. I was like mid high tier kind of guy.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I was not any of the top tier like main characters, but I
Right.
was like the top of
Yeah.
the not
Yeah,
main
you were like
characters.
in the beginning. You were in the cast. Like you were
Yeah.
in the front half of the cast.
If it was like if it
you
was
you weren't top billing, but you were definitely up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So people didn't come for me, but they stayed for me.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's the
That's
kind
what
of
you
thing.
want to do. That's
Exactly.
That's what you want to do.
Exactly. I'm the
You don't
fan
want to be the
favorite.
people that people come for you.
Yeah. One of the I think the biggest
what was your defining role?
I think
And how many did you do? Did you do plays and musicals?
yeah, well, it would depend on whatever Gabhart chose for that year,
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
So sometimes it was a musical, sometimes it was not.
Right.
And my dad is also a playwright and he directed plays. And I went to when I was a little bit younger, like elementary school and maybe into middle school. I don't quite remember, but I would go in over the summers. I did theater camp, and my dad would run that. So
what the fuck?
Yeah,
How did I not know this?
yeah. So it wasn't something that like after I became a
You
man
were
after
like full on. You had the theater camp. You did the fucking wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that because
But
that
it was
makes a lot of sense to me now.
I'm very
That
theatrical.
you want to. Yeah, sure. But you don't have the personality of a theater kid.
Yeah.
Because usually those people are
fuck
the
boys.
joke is that they are obnoxiously annoying.
Yes, right.
They love themselves.
I'm just kind of annoying. Yeah.
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So wait,
yeah.
so you went like how many summers in a row did you do this? You went
like my dad did it, so I was there every single summer. Every single one, I was there. And I did.
Was it like
I
a
liked
big
it.
camp, or was it kind of like a small kind of
It was
community thing?
Nothing huge. You
Yeah,
know?
it was like
it was
kind
community.
of small town. And,
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely. So which is why it was fun. So like because what we went, it was fun for me because like I didn't hate doing the plays. I like performing. It was fun to do that. I'm an artsy guy. It was like my first way to express myself.
Totally. Yeah.
But we would also like go down to there. We go down to one of the people who I went to school with had a big farm in Bumfuck, Kentucky, and had a big had a creek right there next to Bumfuck, Kentucky. Yeah, it's a nice place. It's quite pretty.
Fuck. It's the town over from Pity Fuck.
Pity Fuck is not as nice as Bumfuck. That's why it's not worth driving out as far as Pity Fuck. Yeah, you stick with Bumfuck.
Bumfuck is the better residence.
Yeah, Pity Fuck is too far. Bumfuck is okay, pretty beautiful, and then Shitville, that's where you want to be, right in the middle of Shitville, Kentucky. Yeah. Did I answer your question? I think
you're saying you were going to a farm and some nowhere.
Well, it was also the attraction was the beauty of Bumfuck Nowhere too. Sure, so you got to hang out with friends, hang out in Bumfuck Nowhere.
On a farm.
That
sounds awesome.
So you spent like it wasn't like inside theater halls or anything like that.
And it wasn't all drilling. You guys were just kind of.
Yeah, it was kind of a combination of like a nature and theater camp. Like we would go around and have like hang out in nature, and then at the end of a day we would go and rehearse the play. It was really sick. It was sick. Yeah, it was sick.
Wow. Okay, so the next question is, what was the best play that you were in? Like, what was your favorite play that you were in and your favorite role that you had?
Well, there's two that I can remember.
Did
Well,
you
there's
do
three.
this all through high school, like
Yeah,
senior year? And wow.
I even did it as an alumni
And
from
so
high
all
school.
your friends, are you fucking serious?
I did it into the summer after I graduated from my
This
my
is
high school.
after
Well,
we
hold on.
just met.
That might not be right. I think no. I didn't do it through high school. I stopped in high school because the theater in high school was not very good.
Okay.
So and that's when it changed in high school. It changed from being like, oh, we're making a fun production with my friends to being like, oh, here's the theater people. We don't like the theater people.
Sure. Yeah.
So I didn't do it as
you
much
didn't do
anymore.
it in high school.
No, that's right. I didn't
Okay.
do it in high school at all.
Okay.
So that not quite as dramatically. That's when I parted ways from that.
Okay.
But my favorite plays that I can think of.
So this is all like lower school to middle school.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, younger life.
Okay.
Which makes much more sense why I never told anyone about it.
Yeah, right.
But my top three plays I
thought
of.
I had this whole thing like where that like since you were like you were in high school and you were
right
doing these like you were like 18 years old and you were like fucking John and Peter Pan or something. What's going
what the
on?
fuck? Yeah, it was up until college that I didn't.
Yeah,
I kind of forget. I forget that that you guys in college weren't around for high school. So you don't know what happened during my life. That's kind of a weird thing
for your 20s.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing. That's a weird thing. But my top three plays. My top three plays.
You have a whole other life.
I know. My number one play. This is great because this is from periods of my life. So my elementary school, then like my initial beginning, my early phase of in plays, my middle phase of in plays, and then my post about to leave the plays. So one of my most memorable plays was a play that my dad wrote called The Emperor et al., which was a combination of a bunch of fairy tales that my dad stitched together into a like an anthology sort of continuous story. And I played I played a character called Needles in the with the Emperors with No Clothes, whatever that thing is called. I played one of the guys who tricked the king into buying the invisible clothes, invisible clothes.
Cool.
That was a fun part. Also in middle school, I was in Cyrano de Bergerac, and that was really fun. Do you know that play?
You did that middle school?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I did Cyrano de Bergerac, and that was
Who did you play on that?
I don't remember the name of the guy, but what I liked about it is that I got to I almost had like a flashback where I could remember. Oh, it was okay. One of my favorite lines in that moment is that I got to say, "I thought we'd find our heroes here," and I thought that was so great. And everyone liked that line because when I came around the corner and say that, I fucking belted the shit out of that. I bellowed the shit, and everyone. That was like my ego boost because I was like, dude, I'm the man. So I liked it.
Yeah, right.
I liked it for that moment.
Yeah.
And it was also just a fun play. And then my final play, my send-off play, was a play that was
this is when you were like your teens. This is like
this is right before like going into high school, which I thought I was like a mature man at that point.
Yeah, right.
Going into high school, I was like,
absolutely.
This is the age where I become my true self.
This is who I'm gonna be for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. And I thought that what I was going to be for the rest of my life was an actor in Godspell. And that is the play that I played in.
Yeah, you guys did some eclectic shit.
Yeah, Godspell.
I thought you were gonna be like Peter Pan. Then we did Honk.
No, dog.
But
no,
what
dog.
about the goose?
Yeah, that was what was fun about it. We didn't do the same old lame shit. We did cool things. Yeah. It was that was my experience as a theater boy.
I guess I'll share my one theater anecdote. So I did plays until I was I want to say like I only did them in elementary school. I didn't do
Yeah.
any in middle school.
Yeah.
But the first play I ever auditioned for, and the first play that I was ever in was for Pinocchio in
Oh
fifth grade,
yeah.
and I
Oh
got the
yeah.
role. And like I got like a pretty decent role,
Yeah.
and I think about this all the time because it was like I can't believe that like I did this.
Yeah.
So I played the and why I was casted to do this.
Yeah.
I played. So do you remember? So you remember Pinocchio, right?
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know the
yeah.
story of Pinocchio.
I'm familiar. I've heard it.
He's a
I've seen
little
it once or twice.
boy.
Funny
He's
thing
a
about
wooden
Pinocchio, when I was
puppet.
a kid, when that animated film, I would watch that animated film over and
Okay,
over
so
and
you know
over
that
and
you know it
over
really
again.
well. So
Yeah.
I played the big fat guy who steals Pinocchio.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I played. I was the villain. I was the evil guy who
Wow.
kidnapped Pinocchio.
You were you tubbier? Were you tubbier back then?
No,
You fit the typecast?
so I didn't. Yeah, they didn't make me like. We weren't making like an adaptation of the film. We were just,
Sure, sure. Okay, gotcha.
Pinocchio's greater than the film. And but no, I had a um like a purple bedazzled shirt. It was like a V-neck,
Oh my
and
god.
I had like 50 lines.
Wow.
And I remember, like, this is what I knew that I wasn't good at it, is it was a musical, right? And
Uh-huh.
what the original thing was that I was going to do a song with the puppets. Because that's when,
Yeah.
like, I bring the other puppets out, and, like,
Yeah. Oh, this
they're
was
my
actually
gals.
with puppets? Like this
No,
thing?
there were actresses playing the
Oh, oh, oh,
puppets.
oh, 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 oh,
Yeah,
I understand. I understand.
marionettes.
I understand. I understand.
Anyway. And so it was supposed to be me and them singing a song together.
Sure.
It just turned out they turned it into just them singing and I am just dancing in the background. I couldn't sing. They were like, dude, this guy can't sing.
Wow.
So they just changed it. Right then at that moment, I was like, okay, I will never do a musical
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
anymore. This isn't for me.
Yeah.
So that's and I kind of remember performing it. I don't like have the greatest memory of performing it, which is kind of weird. Cause I did it like 4 times.
Yeah.
I must have, I either just was so nervous and I just did it and blocked it out of my head,
Yeah.
or like it was so bad and I just completely blocked it out. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
sure.
So I don't really have a memory of doing that.
That's
But
funny. That's
yeah,
really funny.
that's so funny. I didn't know you did plays all the time. It's fucking funny as shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That was my life for a bit. I did that. In
That's
middle
my life.
school, I just did a ton of shit.
That's lesbian.
I went through a phase of cuz I don't know if I told you this, which is not a surprise, but when in elementary school and especially like through 5th grade to the 5th and 6th grade, I was super shy and
Yeah.
quiet, which makes sense. I'm a shy
Yeah.
person. But like I was completely shut off. I didn't talk to people. And
Right.
that was especially accentuated when I was going through puberty in 5th and 6th grade. I was just like horny angry boy for those
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah.
And then 7th grade, like it like exploded, and I got like
Yeah.
I was 5'8", I'm pretty sure,
Really?
in like 7th grade.
Wow. So you're
I sprouted the
yeah, you
fuck up.
sprouted. I didn't really.
I wasn't
was
5'8".
gradual.
I was probably like 5'5" or something like that.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
grew I was probably smaller than that.
Yeah.
I feel like I was the same height I was today,
No, dude,
like 7th grade,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it
Probably
was
not.
probably
You're probably
negligible.
close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks
But
like you're 5'2".
I felt large. I
Do you
felt
remember,
large in
like,
middle school.
you know what's so funny is like imagine imagine being 4'8".
Yeah, right.
Like actually think about that.
Yeah.
And then you think about and then you think about I was 4'8" at one point. Like I was
Yeah.
4'9" at some point.
Yeah.
And you think about like how small that is. Like you think about like
Yeah,
I'm
that's true. That's
5,
so
I'm
small.
5'10". Think about like imagine like being that short like right now. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, that's hella small. That is
it's
hella
small as
small.
shit, dude.
And you
I'm
know,
I'm lucky. If I could like if I was talking to God and I said, please change this about me, I would say make me 3 inches taller.
oh, interesting.
I want to be 6'1". I feel like that's a
6'1".
perfect height.
Yeah.
Perfect height. But yeah, dude, look like short. I don't want to be short. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that I'm like 5'8",
You know,
5'8". Well,
honestly,
I don't even know how tall I am. I'm sure like 5'10".
I am very happy being the height that I am. I've come to accept it for a long time. For a while, it was the dick measuring contest between guys about who's
Yeah,
who's
right,
the toughest, and you want
right,
to be the
right.
biggest guy, right? You want to be
Do
the
you
biggest guy on
remember?
the field. You want to be
Here's a
tough.
tangent. Do you remember seeing like? Did you ever go to like locker rooms and stuff? I guess you didn't really do like
Not
sports.
really. No, no, no. Yeah.
Dude, I remember the first time like seeing like a dick that
Yeah,
was
I never did
that
that.
was
Yeah.
like whoa, like because
Yeah. Yeah.
when you're like in middle school and everybody's like going through puberty and stuff, and you just see that person that just walks around the locker room with just this
Mm,
giant hog, and
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
what? Like it's like so. I remember that memory so well. Like seeing a fully just. I was just like, what
Whoa.
is that?
Whoa.
And I'm like, what? What's that? I was probably like 10. I remember we were at a water park. My family and I went to a water park. It was pretty ironic if you
Uh-huh.
know who I am.
Yeah. I gotta kill you.
But so we went to the locker room, and there were all these like 50+ old dudes that just didn't give a fuck, like just walking around butt naked
Yeah.
in this locker room. That's what I remember. I was like,
Whoa.
and there's
Wow.
a memory. There's a memory. I was sitting on a bench, and this dude literally like puts his foot like on the bench. And I remember like looking to the right. It's just so fucking giant dick in my face. I remember that. I was like 10 years old.
Dude, why
That
would he
was
do that?
traumatic.
That's so fucked up of
It was
that dude. Why would he
traumatic.
do
Dude, he didn't care.
that?
He just wanted to rest while he put his underwear on. And then
Oh my
and then as
god.
I've gotten older, I'm being like, man, those guys are fucking so weird. Like to be like that free,
Yeah.
like in like a locker room where there's like a lot of people in it. It's not like there's like five. There's a lot of people in it, and you're just like
Yeah.
walking around. It's like so weird.
Yeah. I'm
The
all about.
mentality of that.
Yeah. The thing about okay, here's the thing. I as I have become, had like sexual experiences and stuff like that and grown up, I've become much more comfortable with the idea of nudity,
Yeah.
and my own nudity. But there's something, so it's like I don't like care that much anymore, like about like seeing dick or seeing like naked women
No, I
and
don't
shit
care.
like
Me
that.
either.
But the thing is,
But
but the
there's a
thing is
difference
about a
when there's
locker
like
room.
85 of them,
Yeah.
and they're all over the age of 60.
Yeah, right. And also, I think the thing
Because
about a locker room is that it's like this contained space of just naked men.
yeah,
There's
and then
something about that that's really strange.
yeah, and yes, because it's because the naked male body is horrifying. Like here's the thing, like I forget who said this, but one of my friends said this to me, and it resonated with me so hard because we were talking about the same thing. It's like he's like, oh yeah, I'm not that weirded out being like naked anymore, but I
Yeah.
will say that like he was talking about like how to show like you really love somebody where you can stand in front of them naked. And
Yeah,
it's
right.
like it's so true though, because like it's especially if you're not like you're a regular looking person.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Yeah.
not it's not oh
Behold.
my yeah, like Michelangelo, not that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um
yeah.
So like there's something really open to like listen, I'm comfortable being naked in front of you. I must really like you if I'm trusting you to look at this disgusting body of mine.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of it takes a lot to be able to
Trust.
do that. Yeah, it takes a lot of
Especially in
trust to
this
be able to
day
do
and
that in
age where
person.
people have cameras in their eyeballs, you know,
Right. You
stuff
could get
like that.
that. You could get your dick posted everywhere. Your mediocre dick all
You
over
know
the
what's
place.
we were talking about this on the podcast too, like dick photos like a few
Yeah.
weeks ago. And uh, and I was thinking that I would rather have like I think it would be more horrifying than a full naked picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's scarier to me than just the dick.
Yeah.
Because it's like here's everything.
Yeah.
And like also if it's a photo like you just like in front of the mirror, just
Yeah.
looking like just 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 so plump and
Yeah.
just naked body.
Yeah.
That I don't want out there.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my thought in my theory about dick pics. I think that the sexual potential of the naked female body and the male female body is equivalent. Here's the thing. Here's the difference though. The difference is that girls in society have been trained on knowing how to present their naked female
Yeah,
body.
exactly.
And men are
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
men are said no, keep that hidden. You
Yeah.
just
Right.
objectify women, don't objectify yourself, of course
Yeah,
not.
right.
So
Yeah.
when you get in a situation like a flirty sexy like like a sexting
Yeah.
situation on Snapchat, then the girl knows what to do, right? She's been trained for better or for worse by
Yeah, right.
society.
Yeah.
And the man's like, I just know how to look like a goblin, witness
Yeah,
me.
right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like
that's true. I guess
I've seen,
we
do you
don't.
know?
There's a great scene in Euphoria actually about that. There's this
Mhm.
great scene in Euphoria where one of the girls is asked to take a naked photo or whatever, like
Yeah,
in their
yeah, yeah,
underwear or whatever, and like yeah, like she asks her friends and they know exactly what to do and stuff
yeah.
like that. And then there's this great scene where she receives a dick photo back from the guy,
Uh-huh.
and Zendaya's character like looks at it and she like analyze like she's not into it because she's gay,
Yeah.
but she's looking at it and like analyzing the dick photo, like everything that's wrong with it, and like it's really funny, and it's
Yeah.
actually like kind of like that where it's like yeah, like guys just like we don't know. It's also like hard to make a penis look
Yeah.
appealing. Like
Yeah.
there's tons of female comics that I've heard, like with their Cummings, like all these great female comedians have bits about that. But
Yeah.
like like a good point, like there's nothing. No woman's like, oh my god, like there's no. It's just
Yeah.
not like it's
Yeah.
okay.
See, I don't believe that any straight man has put the time and effort into doing it right. But if you look at like I this is a cool thing about
So you're
like this
saying you can
transgender
do it
movement.
right?
Have you seen like what gay men can do with their bodies, dude?
No, that's no.
See, like if you look into that, like Richard Haynes, like
This a gay
he's
porn star?
no, he's an artist and he does
Oh.
portraits. He's a gay guy and he likes to
I
do
was
nude
gonna be like,
portraits of
why do
men.
you know?
A gay porn star. But Richard Haynes, if he's a really incredible artist, and like the sexual energy and like the stuff and his people who pose for him, like it makes a lot of like to me. I look
Yeah.
at that and it's just like, man,
That's
man,
true. I never
guys
really
just don't know
thought
how
about
to do that because you look
Yeah.
at that, it's like that guy. It's
Yeah.
like that guy, and there's a lot of people.
That's true.
I don't know.
The gay community is probably different. You're absolutely right.
Gay and
They have
transgender
to,
people, they
yeah,
know
that's
how to
true.
wield the penis.
Yeah.
We straight guys, we don't know what to do with it.
Right.
We
Yeah.
don't,
That's
all
true.
we got is we just have we have like fear tactics. Like gay guys have is they actually know how to present themselves in alluring
Yeah.
ways.
That was
All
fun.
that straight guys have is just
I
to
know.
say mine's bigger than yours. That's all
Yeah.
we have. We have a bark. It's like mine's
Yeah.
really big. Believe
Yeah.
me, it's so
Yeah.
big. You
Yeah.
cannot. I won't show you.
You
I will not.
cannot believe it.
But you won't believe how big this is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
right. Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. So transitioning from this,
Yeah.
um, we don't really talk about movie news anymore.
There
on the
hasn't been
podcast.
any movies to talk about. It's a bummer.
Yeah, and also I don't know like what people think. Like I don't know if they like want to hear news
Movie
and stuff.
news.
We'll
Yeah.
occasionally we'll talk something that's like huge, like Bob Pattinson doing Batman
Oh, yeah.
trailer, like it's like
Mostly, it seems
get
like
your
we've
ass
talked
to the
about Batman.
Spider-Man announcement. We're covering that.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah. All over that.
yeah, all over that. But okay, so what serious now, serious talk.
Yeah.
Serious. And yesterday something dropped that really caught my eye, really extremely, and I think the world's eye, and something that I really want to talk to you about. I sent it to you immediately. As soon as I saw it, I sent it to you, and I said, "This is some crazy shit. This is some crazy shit."
Yeah, dog.
So if you're not aware, um, Warner Brothers, who's a massive, obviously studio.
You've probably heard about them.
Probably. And, the Looney Tunes, those guys.
Yeah.
And so they announced that their whole 2021 slate next year, that all the movies, all of them, that are slated to come out in 2021 from Warner Brothers are going to be streaming on HBO Max as well
Wow.
as theaters.
Wow.
This is batshit news. This is crazy. This is I think we probably have. I don't remember what episode or whatever, but we definitely discussed like when the pandemic hit
Yeah.
multiple times. I think, and even like just personally, uh, the future of the movie industry, the future of movies after this, because movies have not been coming out for a year, almost a year now.
Yeah.
And
Solid year now.
obviously things have been shaking up. Things have, studios are trying to figure out how to release movies.
Yeah.
And we've seen tons of kind of streaming stuff coming out, and we talk about like maybe streaming is the future, but like what is our theaters is going to become extinct. And this is the first sign to me that yes, theaters I think
Are dying.
are dying. And there's the reason I want to talk about this is because like I'm not all negative on this. I'm not. You know, I was initially when I read it. I was like, fuck, man, like because I love the movie going experience. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm going to the theater, and not saying that this is going to like clear theaters. This is just kind of a sign that may be pointed to movie theaters aren't needed anymore.
Yeah.
And initially I read that I was like, "Man, that is super disappointing." But there are some things that are great about it. Obviously, there's some things that are interesting and things that that we can talk about that I think are kind of a positive maybe that you can look at it and like, oh, this is actually a cool thing that's happening. But
Yes.
initially, man, I'm just gonna read off like if no one really understands like kind of the scale of this, I'm just gonna read off some of the movies that are going to be on streaming from day
Yeah.
one.
Well, before you start talking about this, I have a question that
Yeah.
I was curious about.
Yeah.
Because when it says they're releasing their whole slate, does that mean that their release pattern is going to be that I imagine what's going to happen is that whenever they're going to release a movie that would normally get released in box office and it's going to simultaneously also release in HBO
Yeah,
Max.
exactly.
Doesn't
Yeah,
mean
right.
that everything that's coming out is going to get released
Oh
all
no, it's gonna be like weekly. It's gonna be
Gotcha.
the same kind of schedule that it would have like if it was going to theater. So
Which is still bonkers. That's still bonkers. I just wanted to make sure that I knew that was what it meant. Yeah.
If they put all the movies in January, like here's all of them.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
Because I mean, they could do something like that because we've talked about this before. That they have there's a lot of movie backpile. It's like that. I mean, it doesn't make sense to do that, but I thought that it could have been an option. Anyways, okay, what's coming out?
These are just some of the movies that are coming out that are like, I just want to emphasize how big these films are. The Suicide Squad, the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, Suicide Squad 2, Matrix 4,
wow,
Dune,
wow,
Godzilla versus Kong,
wow,
the Space Jam sequel starring LeBron James, which I am so excited about. Conjuring 3, fucking, In the Heights, which is like a musical starring the Hamilton guy that was probably going to do major numbers box office wise. Mortal Kombat movie.
What?
Tom and Jerry animated film.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
is that like a new thing? Have they been making Tom and Jerry films?
Yeah, I guess there's the animated one, like a 3D animated one.
3D animated?
I would like to see a trailer for that. That sounds pretty great. Anyway.
Wow.
So that's fucking bananas. I mean, that's fucking bananas. Like these are giant movies.
Yeah. I have another question.
$2 billion, you know?
Yeah. I have my other question is, do you know, because it's on HBO Max, it makes it seem like that these are just going to be available like day one, that if you have a subscription, you can just,
I would assume that there's going to be a little bit of an extra charge.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. Like, so the first thing I kind of want to talk to you about is like, when you read that, like, what is your initial response? Like, do you? Because what I was going to say is like, what we were getting at is like, what our audiences like are. It depends on how many audiences are going to go to the theater and how many audiences are just going to are willing to just stay at home and watch Dune, you know?
Yeah, right.
But to that, like, let's just say it's available for all HBO Max subscribers, and then it's another $10. Let's say that. I don't know. It might be. I would assume that it's going to be around that, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
Let's assume that. Okay, so you have that option, and then you have the theater option.
Yeah.
And I think, what do you think? Like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think people are even going to go to the theater anymore for stuff like this?
Man, it's so complicated.
It's very complicated,
because there's so many factors that are in play. Because on one hand, if we have a vaccine, maybe people will be going by then.
Right.
But I'm not optimistic about that working out. Like I think that we have a lot of shit to get through before that's going to be reliable.
Right.
Like where everyone can get it. There's a lot of shit that has to happen before we can say we're vaccinated, we're good.
Yeah, right.
A long road to that. So let's put that out of the picture. We won't have a conversation. It'd be great. We can say on one opportunity, everyone's vaccinated, everything's safe, we can go back to theaters. That's awesome. That's awesome. And we have this option of renting it too. The other thing that I think about is the idea that the movie business has been constantly saying that, theaters are dying, we're moving all towards
this is not a new
which actually, if you look at the data, is not true. Like for a long time, it has been very, very important. Like that's how people make money. They make money through the theater experiences. Now that gap has been closing. That's true. That is true, that this rental and all these other methods besides box office is not quite as much of a difference now. It's not negligible. It's very, very crucial. It's very important, and it's much different than how it used to be. But you know, it was still always a factor that the box office budget, the theater budget, was really important. So, okay, so my thought about it is that I'm going to reframe it for a second, because my thought that I'm sad about would be if theaters don't exist anymore. I don't
Right.
think that theaters won't exist anymore. I think what will happen eventually, I think it's inevitable that it's going to happen. I don't know if it will happen with this. I don't know if it will be in 10 years. I don't know. I think it will be inevitable that it will happen, that the corporate, I think that it's going to become archaic to like vinyls or something
Yeah.
to go to the theater.
I think we talked about that before.
Yeah, I think what will happen is
or it would be take another major technological advance, like it's in VR. You only go here and you go.
exactly.
Avatar 2 might do that.
Yeah, right. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But I think that eventually we're moving towards that point. And to me, it's like, that's not sad, because
Sure.
we're moving away from theaters becoming a real corporate thing and changing them to be more focused, more art focused, which is what we've always wanted.
Well,
we would love that. That's kind of an idealized reality, I suppose.
I think art. Well, here's the really sad part. Art theaters, they're dead. Small art theaters, they're gone. They're gone. They wouldn't be able to sustain. That's really sad. You know, that really sucks.
Yeah. I guess the thing that I'm thinking about is that there might be a period in time where we don't really have theaters, but I think that inevitably there's going to be a resurgence, because people realizing how dope vinyl is. That's like, wow, we missed out on something with vinyl. This is really dope. We're going to realize, obviously, that's like, wow, theaters are great. We should do this again. So I think I have confidence that in some shape or form, it might not be like the tent pole importance it is today, and has always been. I think that will fall over at some point. I don't know if this will be it though. Like, that's really
okay. Here's my thing. Is like, I think here's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah,
I think it's going to happen, and I think this is not only a consistent thing in the movie industry, but also like in real life, in reality.
Yeah.
I think that as a society, we're getting more and more. Why go outside? We don't need to go outside. I can order my groceries online. I can order whatever I want on Amazon. I have all this content on streaming services that I can watch. Why the fuck do I have to leave my house? I don't need to leave my house. Pandemic, I work from home now because no one's going outside. I think what's going to happen is this is going to be very successful for Warner Brothers. You know, they're going to see, wow, like we're getting more viewers.
I agree with this.
Like movie, because at the end of the day, that's what they want. Or people watching the movie.
Yeah.
And so, but here's the thing. This is all about the domino effect. It's just Warner Brothers. But this is just Warner Brothers we're talking about. Think about Universal, Disney. You know, Disney even this year, Soul, the new Pixar movie, is going to be on Disney Plus.
Channel. Disney Plus,
Disney Channel.
Disney Channel.
It should have. What the fuck? Like, they should have called it that. What are they doing? They should have called it. Why? What the fuck? They should have called it Disney Channel Plus. Wow, major missed opportunity. Anyway, so yeah, that's just gonna be on. You know, on Christmas Day, Soul's gonna be on there. So even Disney's kind of taking strides into. They did it with Mulan earlier this year. They put it on Disney Plus. You know, they were trying to test it too. So maybe if we see this being successful for Warner Brothers, we're going to see Universal, Disney, all these other major companies follow suit and create their own streaming service or partner with Netflix or something. Because Netflix is kicking some serious fucking ass right now. They are a bona fide movie studio that are making quality shit. They have a David Fincher movie, a new one, a new David Fincher film.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's insane.
It's in 6 years. On Netflix. That's fucking insane.
I think, dude. I think you're 100% right. And my kind of perspective on it, I'll make an analogy because I was flipping through Instagram and I saw a post by Bernie Sanders, and which is normal, right? All posts, all. You feel the burn. Everyone has an Instagram right now. But I thought about that for a second. Bernie Sanders is on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you realize that
The
the
80-year-old man.
the 80-year-old man is on Instagram? Our president is on Twitter. All of these things, these are facts about our world right now. That, and if you think about it, if you think about social media, this would be a laughable thing a while ago.
Yeah.
So my perspective on it is that at some point it's going to happen. I think it's inevitable. At some point it's going to happen. It's like this thing where you can release films like right off the bat, and you can release them.
Literally, the press a button and it's on there. Yeah.
And you can watch it at your home. It's like, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to happen. Of course.
I think this is the catalyst. I think it's happening. I think this is
yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be like, that's the thing.
I think the pandemic basically just kind of propelled this forward. I think this is inevitably going to happen, but this was kind of the moment that happened where, all right, well, this is the moment where it's going to change.
Yeah. I think it's possible. I think, to me, I don't understand why Warner Bros. Won't find success doing this. It seems like if I was in their pants, like if I was in their pants, I would be doing the exact same thing.
I was in their overalls.
If we had swapped overalls for a minute and we had switched our overalls for Warner Bros. Overalls, we would be saying, "Put that shit everywhere, dude."
But also, but yeah, I mean, it's. What were you saying? You were saying,
about that it was inevitable that this stuff is going to happen at some point.
If you were you're saying that, if you were in their shoes, you would assume that you're going to make more money.
Yeah, right. Well,
this is going to be successful for them.
Right. I would be, if I was making, I would be making this business decision, because to me it's just like, this is going to work. I'm going to do this, and it's like, we put it on the box office. Why would I rely on, like, if I'm going to release a movie right now, I'm not just releasing on the box office. It's like, I have the film, I can release it, I can send it to box offices, and it's like, how hard is it for me to just send it to a streaming service and say, hey, give me whatever percent, give me 80%.
Okay, that's a great point. I totally agree with that 100%. But there's also more points that I have.
Okay.
This is a crazy fucking thing that I've been thinking about a lot.
Yeah.
So another thing that I was thinking about is that, say that everything kind of becomes streaming. Here's the obvious thing that sucks about this, right? Is that why the fuck are people gonna watch Dune on their fucking computer in their fucking underwear, picking at their butt? You know what I mean? Like that as a film fan, as a weirdo, film lover. That breaks my goddamn heart.
Right.
That literally, because this guy, they put all this money into making a movie to watch on the big screen, to watch in a theater.
Right.
And here's the really disappointing part to me about this whole thing, really, is that, say theaters just go extinct for a little bit. And here's the really fucked up part, is that, yeah, sure, we have all these, like, No Time to Die, like, these, there's movies in the can that were made to be on a big screen.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I want to go see Mission Impossible 8 in a theater.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it at home, because that's not how they're intended to be made.
Right.
Note what I just said. Intended to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Movies might start to be made differently, because
took the words right out of my brain.
I
know
like
exactly.
That to me is really sad, because one of my favorite things, like one of the thing that really got me into cinema, was blockbuster filmmaking. Like watching these giant scale movies with these incredible effects, super fun. Back to the Future is maybe my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
And that is a blockbuster theater movie that is designed to see in a theater. Booming soundtrack, you know, amazing special effects to see on a loud screen, you
Yeah.
know, like the script is even kind of designed for those moments of laughter for the communal aspect of going to the theater.
Yeah.
Movies are going to be made differently, is what I'm trying to say. It's like
No,
these
dude. Yeah, you're
giant
right.
kind of
You're right.
a Marvel movie that is designed like they're listen, the movie industry, they don't really care about art that much. They don't. They don't like there's only those handful of filmmakers like Christopher Nolan and Spielberg and these guys that are like, I'm making it my way, 70 millimeter film,
Yeah, right.
IMAX,
Right, right,
I'm
right,
not
right.
doing it everywhere. But like listen, like if
Most
it's
of the time it's
Disney,
about the market.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But if it's like Disney that's like, oh, we don't have to put this much money into fucking, Ant-Man 3. Let's just, they're going to be watching on their fucking phone anyway, so let's not put that
Yeah.
much production value into it. It
Yeah.
scares me that movies on that, like those big budget films, even indie films, man, like like the theater is what you watch a movie for. It
Yeah.
is the immersion aspect of it, and I understand like people can have like affordable, really good home theater systems now, like realistically, but it's just not the same, man.
Yeah.
So
So,
that is the biggest concern for me
okay.
that I
Dude,
don't really see people talk about.
you're making an incredible point, and that is going to be the conversation that we're really going that is what this is all about when we're talking
Yeah,
about it, because what we care about really at the end of the day,
because
we don't.
listen, I actually like the like. Listen, like the Matrix 4, like
Yeah.
maybe I wouldn't go see that in a theater, but if I had the chance to sit, Tom
Right.
Jerry, the Tom Jerry
Yeah,
animated movie,
right.
I got, I don't really, I kind of want to see it, but I don't really want to go out on my way to see it. Oh, I can
but
just watch it
renting
here.
it, yeah,
Yeah,
that's definitely a
I'll
better
do that.
option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get a couple friends like there and watch it. That's
Yeah.
cool. Like the idea
Yeah.
of having options is cool.
Yeah. So it's like it's a healthy thing to introduce this, but this is the problem, because what we're talking about is like the diminishing the quality of movies overall.
Yeah,
So, okay, I agree with you. I'm very worried about that, and I'm very depressed. And I think about thinking about that. And I think that we will probably go through a dark period if we go completely virtual, where people will click onto that, say, "Hey, we don't have to do this anymore. Let's make the shittiest shit. Let's make TV for
yeah,
the
yeah,
blockbuster.
yeah, yeah.
Let's make
Right.
blockbuster TV."
I
So,
think that's really like that. Movies are not going to become like TV and movies are going to be basically the fucking same. They
okay,
already kind
here's
of are.
yeah.
The
So
Queen's
here's
Gambit, which is a miniseries.
yeah.
Number one on Netflix right now. That looks like a fucking movie. That looks
Yeah,
like a
right.
7-hour movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so here's my thought too about a positive reframing. Although I 100% agree with you, but just introducing something new.
Uh-huh.
So, my thought about it is that we always change. Like the world's always changing, right? And this might
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
this if we can be hopeful that if we get to this point, that this will be a healthy thing for the evolution of film overall, right? It might go through a period where we just get shit films for a while. I
Yeah.
believe that 100%. I'm sure
Right.
we're gonna have to get through a lot of shit before we
Yeah.
get to anything good. But to make an analogy, so I'm working on comics right now, and one of the things about comics and the history of comics is that obviously comics were originally printed in a book, especially as a
Yeah.
graphic novel. What's popular now is web comics, right? Web
Yeah.
comics
Right.
were the
Yeah.
bane of all artists' existence. They're
Yeah.
talking about it's not real art. I'm not doing
Yeah.
web
Right.
comics right now.
Yeah.
But now what we're seeing is that now if you're looking at this now and you're really with the culture, you are missing out on the potential if you are not doing web comics. And it is incredible what you can do and get out of this experience with these kinds of web comics. Is it like a graphic novel? No. Is it quite as meaningful or as wonderful as a graphic novel? It's not. It's not. But it's a web comic, and you can get a lot of things out of a web comic. So what I'm kind of thinking is that what we have to get to is getting to a point where I think that these mediums of like phone and all of this kind of stuff, it's not good mediums for the blockbuster format that we know and love, but there is so much potential to create great shit on this stuff. And that is the silver lining of this change in culture. That even, yes, I think that blockbusters might go through a period where they're not the thing anymore. We might not get those for a while until we get the resurgence of theaters like we got the resurgence of vinyls. but we might get some really cool shit along the way. Like with
Oh yeah,
YouTube
I'm not
putting
opposed to that. I mean, I think we'll always get good movies.
yeah.
But here's another disappointing thing about this whole thing is I completely agree with that. Like I'm not making the argument that this is gonna like ruin all movies. Like,
Right,
like, this, like,
right.
I'm
Yeah.
just concerned about like the idea, like mostly those blockbuster movies, right? That they just like a Nolan movie. He might not if this is still on HBO Max. Nolan might be he might not be inclined to shoot it in IMAX.
Right.
That's fucking sad, man.
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think the thing will shift where I think it's very real that we'll get to a point where blockbusters will not be commercial anymore, which is a weird thing to think about, you know? Like what kind of world is that? But it might
also
be.
weird too is like what's gonna be the movie then? Like
Mhm.
what is gonna I mean like what is like how is it not gonna be? Because like America's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
we like
right.
to go see titties, Will Smith and Mark Lawrence shoot up, Mexicans. Like we like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Always for fucking
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
I think that
I forgot what
once
I was gonna say, but
as we are going into our as we are going moving into our adult lives and into our careers as people, I think we are going to experience a very different world, a very different America. I don't know, I can't speak for the rest of the world. I can talk about America, but it's also possible that vaccine will come around or that COVID, we just get a handle on COVID, everything goes back to normal. That's totally possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is
this might be a temporary thing. I'm going over the assumption that this coronavirus thing, like, this is kind of an experiment for the pandemic.
Yeah.
And when the pandemic's over, they might not be doing this anymore. I don't know. We'll see. But
I just feel like
I wanted to make,
yeah,
though,
go ahead.
another one to bring this
Yeah.
up, is that streaming versus a movie theater experience, right? This is another big one that I saw someone on Twitter say that I completely agree. Palm Springs, okay, was a movie on Hulu that I loved it, okay? A movie last year that we saw in theaters, Child's Play. We reviewed it on the podcast.
Yes.
Palm Springs is a better movie. Here's my point: is that I remember watching Child's Play more than I remember seeing Palm Springs. Going to a theater and with you, but popcorn, candy, watching it in this giant thing, it's an experience. It's something that, like, is going to be set. Like, I don't remember where I even saw Palm Springs for the first time. I don't even know where the fuck I was. Was I in my room? I don't know. I don't know. But I know exactly where I was sitting when I saw Child's Play. I was with. I knew what I was eating. Because it was a hilarious experience. Watching this movie that turned out to be actually kind of okay.
Yeah, right.
Really horrible. And so that's kind of my last kind of point about this thing is like
that's a good point.
It's sad that maybe that theater, that not only seeing it in a theater, that theater experience is going to be lost. And I think like the kind of the experience of going to the movies is this whole thing, and it's kind of like crazy that it's just gonna come to an end. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that I think right now we're projecting like years into the future. I think theaters still have at least 20 years, right?
Yeah,
but it's still like
maybe. I would say maybe like 10.
Yeah, 10, yeah,
10
maybe
before
10.
they're completely obliterated.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll really have to see. It just depends on how the water shifts. But another thing, just to comment on that, because I agree.
They're going in theaters too, so we don't know. Like, we also don't know. Like, say they do wrap up COVID and this whole thing is like COVID's not going to be all gone, obviously. By next year, but hopefully there'll be a vaccine. So there's kind of some more leeway. More people are willing to go outside and see a movie in theater. That's what they're hoping, because they're putting it in theaters too.
Yeah.
But um,
Yeah.
what if it's 50-50? You know, like, okay, I'll be around for a while then. You know, it's literally like it's, you know, a good majority is going to the theater and a good majority is watching it at home too. We won't have this conversation anymore. You know, it would be like maybe they could coexist. You know,
Yeah.
maybe
That would be great. That would be.
coexist, but I really can't see it like that.
I know. I think the other
Because
thing.
watching a movie at home is just too enticing.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have to ask the girl on a date. You know, I don't have to take my wife out or whatever. It's like, oh, I can
Yeah.
just watch this movie at home.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, I think the process about it is that okay, so commenting on the sort of like your comparison about between Child's Play and Palm Springs, which is a really, really good point.
Yeah.
One of my thoughts about it is that, yes, in my opinion, I think that there's something special about the theater experience because it's the theater experience.
Yeah.
But I think that you can get a great experience out of the movie as long as you do the work to engage with it, no matter what.
Sure.
Which I think which that's true about most things. So I think that the thing about that's awesome about a theater is that it asks you to just go there to watch a movie. You're not doing anything else.
Yeah,
You're just going there and you're watching a movie. And it's great because
too. Yeah, absolutely.
because you're just that is what it's designed for.
Because
but when you're at home,
that's another thing about this. Yeah, the thing about that is like it kind of it's a bummer because, you know, sometimes when I watch like a streaming show or movie, I'll look at my phone. I'm not like maybe fully engaged in the movie.
Which is like it's not like that's a great thing about streaming service. It's really nice to have like a show on in the background or hang out with friends and just have something up. It's really fun. I think it's a great, wonderful thing. I would not like it if the world didn't have that. It's what I love that.
Yeah, streaming services are awesome. I'm not like them either.
But you have the thing is that now if we lose that theater experience, which asks us to really just engage with the movie, then we have to go home and do the work ourselves of saying, turn off the lights. Nobody talk to me. I'm watching a movie. It's like, dude, why can't I talk to you? Why can't you pause?
Yeah, right.
It's just like, dude, I can't. I'm watching a movie. That's really hard to say that in this in modern America, even if you're just at home doing nothing. You know, everyone has kids, all that shit. You know, and it's just like anyways, that's kind of like my point. It's like my point is that like you can have a great experience at home, watch streaming a movie. Because the movie is still as good as it was in theaters. You can close off, turn off the light, and have that experience. You can do that, but there is so many more steps when you're doing it at home versus when you're doing it at a theater. So, and that's the thing that's so magic. That's why a theater's so magic. It's because you don't really have to. You just have to go there, and then you are there. And so you really get to experience the movie. It's more likely that you will experience the movie really when you go to the theater versus if you watch it at home. So it's like, it's a really complicated process. The world's just gonna have to change and adapt around it, man. It just has to do it. So it's really historical. It's a historical change that's happening.
That's I think we talked about it a good amount. You know, it'll definitely come up again, probably. Or we do this podcast. Definitely when it's occurring, you know, definitely when it's happening. I mean, I'm gonna be glued to the box office report. I'm gonna be glued to I'm fascinated by this.
Me too.
I mean, as much as I maybe disappointed by this move and kind of bummed out I am, you know, that I might be watching Dune in my underwear at home.
Yeah, right.
You know, I as a movie fan, I am fascinated because I love the industry. I love how it changes, and this is like really interesting to see. Because are they going to release streaming numbers? Are they going to release like how well did this do streaming? Are they going to disclose that information? Because the thing about the box office is one of the things that drives the industry forward is how well did you do box office wise
in the box office, right?
And now streaming, like I know Netflix is kind of weird about that. They don't release like their
streaming
numbers.
statistics.
Like you can't look up like how many people watched Larry's story, so I don't know. I don't know if they're going to release that stuff or they're going to keep it disclosed, but
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm actually very interested to see what this is like. But as a theater fan, I'm going to try to go see,
As many as
see it
possible.
in
Yeah.
theaters. I'm going to try to
Yeah.
support it. Just because it's hard for me. I like to believe that there are people out there that who want to see Dune, who are who are following Dune, or like when this is coming
Yes.
out, are like, fuck that, I'm going to the theater.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like to
yeah,
think
yeah.
that. But listen, man, as much as I love Space Jam, listen, dude, if me and my buddy Justin, who I'm probably gonna watch that with, like,
Yeah.
do we want to go to the theater to watch fucking Space Jam 2, or do we just
Right.
want to drink some beers and watch it right here?
Dude, yeah, you think about
Yeah.
like digital marketing and you talk about all this stuff and you think that if it's an obstacle for people to click on multiple links to look at your shit, if that's an obstacle that will keep people from like looking at your shit and following you to click a
Yeah.
link, if that's an
Yeah.
obstacle,
Yeah.
then it's going to be a fucking obstacle to decide to go of a movie if it's a life or death situation.
Exactly.
It's like,
Yeah,
hey,
right.
every time you
In
go to a movie,
car,
yeah.
drive to your theater that might
Do I
be
want to risk
play.
my life today to
Yeah.
see Space Jam 2?
Yeah.
Do I? I don't know. It's just like
Do I want to risk my life to see Stuart Little 6? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know.
Another tidbit about this, which we should not talk about this because it's going to be a much too long of a conversation. And really,
This
it's
might
much
be
too
a whole
abstract.
podcast.
Yeah, really, yeah.
But
But in addition to changing the box office as a movie fan, what happens with this is also going to dramatically change what it means to be a filmmaker, and especially
yeah,
the
right.
career tracks of
Yeah, right.
what does the
Exactly, yeah.
industry mean anymore?
Yeah,
Does
right.
the industry mean working for Netflix now?
Yeah, right.
Does the industry mean maybe that can be our ending question for this conversation?
Right.
So, shit's going to
Yeah,
change.
what
What's
is
going to
it?
happen to filmmakers?
I mean, I kind of got into that a little bit with like how movies might be changing
Yeah,
to like
right.
to kind of cater to this like kind of streaming platform. We might see like those more like interactive things like
Yeah.
banner stacks and shit.
Yeah.
That mirror thing. Um, I don't know, man. Fascinating. But yeah, how is this going to change filmmakers' kind of trajectories and careers?
Yeah.
Definitely, it's going to be different.
I have okay. So I think that was a great conversation. And now I have two things that before we segue into our film of the week. I want to tell you the question I had.
Yeah.
What I told you about before the podcast. And the other thing is a comment because I looked at you when we popped this open this Zoom call and I thought, man, that man is striking. And I've been looking at it and it's overall, of course, but there's something else that I haven't been able to put my finger on. And I just figured out what it is.
What?
Dude, you are in Thing 1 attire.
Yeah. I would either say I'm also Mario.
Yes, that too. Yeah. I think you're like a Thing 1 Mario mashup. If they had a baby, that's what you would look like. Thing 1 and Mario.
I love it, man. I love these overalls.
They're great.
Ever.
They suit you. It cracked me up when you talked about putting them on backwards and being disappointed.
Yeah,
that's the funniest shit.
Yeah, that's a classic. That is a classic.
That's a clip.
Podcast clip. I think that's on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
No.
Instagram. Yeah. On Instagram. Okay, so here, let me pose this question to you, and then we can talk about Stuart Little. Our film of the week. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So my question is, I had this thought. I was thinking, okay, so we have clicks. We have clicks and stuff, right? We have clicks like
clicks
sports guy.
Like groups.
Yeah, we have sports groups of people, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking,
like us personally have clicks,
like as a human society. As a human society, there are clicks. In high school, there are clicks. There are types of personalities of people who like certain things.
We've all seen the Breakfast Club.
We've all seen the Breakfast Club, and we know that's a true thing about human society. So my question is if in Neanderthal times, right, cavemen's, was there a nerd Neanderthal?
Oh, was there a
So like so let me
I
give you
like
some
that
more
story. Wait, no,
let-
I get it. So I understand. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
like, so that's so, yeah, I love this. So, so you're asking me if there was a caveman that was so there. So you're asking me if the cavemen had cliques. If they were
Yeah,
like, here are the jock cavemen,
yeah,
here are the nerds, here
yeah.
are the theater kids.
Yeah, because like I've always thought about it's just like I've had a compulsion to be drawn towards the arts, right? Because I just like that stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
right.
I don't like doing shit like sports
Well, it's not just you. There's a
or
lot of
accounting.
people out
There's a
there.
and there's yeah, right. There's a lot of people
Right.
who are sort of
Yeah.
like brained in this fashion.
Yeah.
So it's like, are all Neanderthals
Wow.
brained? You know, because in Neanderthal time or in the hunter gatherer period of time, right?
Yeah.
There the men would go and hunt and the women would gather, right?
Uh-huh.
So in those individual groups, is there like the nerdy hunter and there's like the guy who's into like the strategy and stuff, or the guy who's just about like just fucking kill it right now?
Yeah.
And that what defines the cliques?
I think that that's so funny. I think that, okay, cavemen, what were the creatures that they were around in cavemen? So there was like saber-toothed tigers,
Yeah,
like mammoths, like all that shit.
mammoth.
So I think with the nerd, so I think that the nerd maybe wasn't into like art, but
Yeah,
I think he was probably into like all the animals and like knowing
yeah.
like all the
Ooh.
dumb facts about the animals were like, oh, they're fucking
Oh,
very good. He's
or
gonna
like
tell us how
habits.
big the mammoth's,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
fucking eyeball is. Like
yeah,
we don't fucking give a fuck. Like this dude's fucking crazy. And then
yeah.
the jocks are like, yeah, it's not like back then it wasn't hey Buster, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna fucking slit your throat if you say so. They didn't give a fuck, man. If you got a cold back then, you just die.
Yeah, right, right, right. You know,
So
I think this will.
I think there were definitely clips, but they were not. They were, let's say, more primal,
Yeah.
and more more intense.
I think the other thing is that you know we kind of have this misconception with animals that it's like, yeah, all animals are just sort of carbon copies of themselves. They don't really have any
Yeah.
personalities. And it's like that's not true. If anyone
Yeah.
who has had two cats or two dogs is like, this dog is not like
Well,
this
also,
other
not only
dog.
that, it's like you look at a dog and you're like, what? Like the species of the dog, and you think about, man, what was the species like 10,000 years ago?
Right.
Dude, this thing was, I mean, we
Monster.
domesticated dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
domesticated the fuck
monsters.
out of dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
monsters. But thank God we did, because I love puppies.
Yeah, right.
But,
Right.
you know, like, oh my God. You imagine if think about how many dogs there are in the world, and they're all wolves. Think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
we'd all be dead. They would just like fucking kill everybody.
Yeah. Do you know that there were giant sloths at one point? Did you
Yeah,
know that?
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a crazy thing that
There were these things called dinosaurs.
dinosaurs,
Yeah, there was,
big old ferocious
yeah,
chickens walking around,
crazy. Yeah,
bananas.
yeah.
Can you think it's kind of funny that the evolutionary chain depicted in media, you think of evolution as being like you become more powerful
Yeah,
as you
right.
evolve, but sloths and dinosaurs went from the massive creatures they are to a sloth which doesn't move and
Yeah.
poops once a week. A sloth literally poops once a week. I looked this up. And
Once
okay,
a week?
let me tell you a fact about a sloth. A sloth poops once a week, and when it has to poop, it loses a third of its body mass, and it's like giving a birth. Can you
Man,
imagine?
that's a lot of shit.
That's a lot of shit.
A lot of shit.
And I watched.
Like, you guys actor like king of shit, and then you stand up and you feel 1/3
Yeah.
lighter.
Well, the toilets, it would literally fill the toilet seat. Like you would have to
Yeah,
fill up the
not even-
toilet seat.
Of course, it would be like a pile.
Yeah, it would be
Like how much do you weigh?
180 pounds.
Yeah,
Say.
so it would be like fucking like close to 60 pounds, like 50
That's
pounds.
crazy.
Um,
That's as big. That's as big as my Akita dog. My Akita dog was 60 pounds.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, man. That's a lot of shit.
That's like shitting a Great Dane.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Also, yeah, man.
That's
Yeah,
bananas.
that is
And
bananas.
yeah, so
A
that's
lot.
so yeah,
You
there
shit
probably
so
were
much that you float up. Like you just become a balloon. Like you just shit your whole ass out.
I feel free. Yeah. So I guess there were probably nerd Neanderthals, but not in the same sense that we
Probably,
we
yeah. I
think of
mean,
them today.
I think there were, yeah, and the smart ones too.
Yeah. Well, that was a good answer to my question. I feel thoroughly satisfied. Eva just laughed at me. She didn't actually answer my question.
Oh, is that the question that you asked her?
Yeah.
It's a good question, dude.
I thought so too.
It's a good question to think about. I love thinking about like what humans were like not in the 1800s, and that's
Yeah.
interesting too. But 1700s. No.
Yeah.
What were they like in the year 100?
Yeah.
I watched for the first time a movie called Idiocracy. You heard of Idiocracy?
Oh yeah, I know Idiocracy. Yeah.
So
I haven't seen it.
fucking funny, man.
I want to see
It
it.
is such a funny comedy.
That's good.
Um,
I was worried it wasn't funny.
no, it's
I don't know
directed by
why.
Mike Judge, who did like Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill,
Oh, gotcha.
um, Silicon Valley, which is a really good HBO show. Um, it's funny as fuck, but I mean, it's the same idea where like instead of it takes us 500 years later,
Uh-huh.
and humans have de-evolved,
Oh
and we're
yeah.
becoming really stupid in societies, and like, but it's interesting to think about how dumb or fucking super smart humans were. I think we're getting dumber, but
Yeah.
how like dumb like humans were,
Yeah. Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
how fucking just numbskull, like
Yeah.
nothing going on,
Yeah. Well, it's
or
also
they were like Einsteins,
yeah.
we don't know.
Well, it's interesting because you look at these Greek philosophers and you like the Greek philosophers have thought some amazing thoughts, right? And we look at them, it's like this man was a genius.
Yeah,
But we
right.
also have to keep in mind that what this man said, like a lot of Greek philosophers just made up random shit that the
Yeah,
world
of
works
course.
like this. And it's like, dude, you
Yeah.
are so fucking
I know.
wrong. That is like the stupidest shit
Yeah,
ever, you
yeah,
know? Like
right.
that is so wrong, you stupid idiot. That's not even
Well,
close.
I mean, if listening to, uh, they might have just eaten some weird mushroom they found
Uh-huh.
on the ground, and that's what their thought was. And that's a real thing.
Okay, dude, that actually reminds me of something because I've had this thought where I look at vegetables every once in a while, and you look at every once in a while, not
Yeah.
often, but every
Yeah,
once in a
right.
while,
Yeah.
and you look at this and you think it's like, oh, I'm glad that I know I can eat this. Can you think about the process of learning what
Yeah,
was
I know.
edible, what's
I
not
know.
edible? You had to be like,
Well,
you had
I
to
think
look at
you know what I'm thinking
something.
about that is an oyster. Who's the first guy
Yeah,
to eat an oyster? Pick up this. Here's this rock. And
yeah,
finds this rock, opens the rock, and there's a goo. And he's like,
yeah.
I'll eat that goo.
Like, give me that shit. Give me
Yeah,
that
I'll
shit.
eat that goo.
I feel
Yeah,
like the thing that
totally thinking about that.
if you were a smart person, then you would look at the animals and see what are they eating, and you would try to eat that. But that's not
Yeah.
always the
But
best
there's
thing
a
to
lot of
do.
trial and error, though.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of trial and error.
If I was,
the animals, I bet you there was a human out there that a fucking man was cooking huge shit, and this
yeah,
human was like, I don't know what to eat.
let me try this.
You try this.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Who's to blame them?
well, to get
Taboo doesn't exist yet. Might as
he
well.
was definitely eating, but he was probably like, dude, all I eat is berries. All I eat
Yeah,
is berries and water. Like,
yeah.
bro, like, what else could I eat?
Give me some of that good
Someone had to try
brown
it.
shit.
Someone
Yeah.
had to try the shit.
Oh,
And
definitely,
then he
definitely. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I would always just bring a guy that I don't like very much around, and whenever I
Yeah.
was hungry, be like, "Hey, try some of this. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure." And if he
Dude.
dies,
yeah, I think about that like all the time, like how back in the 1800s, like if you killed somebody, it wasn't that big of a deal.
yeah, right.
It was like, like, too bad. fucking wild.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if 1800s is far enough back, but I know what you mean.
I think so. I mean, I think there was like I think there were. Well, the thing is, it was hard to text people.
Yeah, right,
One
right,
guy
right,
was like,
right.
"I killed my brother," and the sheriff or whatever. I'm talking like old, like Western shit,
Sure. Yes, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
like they just be like,
Yeah, they're
"All right,
murdering.
well, if we see him,
Yeah.
we'll get him."
I mean, the other thing, the
But
other
there's no
thing,
guarantee.
I feel like part of that has to do with the fact about people not living that long. So if you died at 30, it was just like it's long enough life
Yeah,
anyways. You
no
didn't
one
really
can
take
live
that
very long
much.
either. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like now,
Like I
it's just
said
like
earlier, if you got a cold, you're just
you're
dead.
gone. Yeah, you're out of
Yeah.
here. That is still a
God
really
forbid
thing.
you got the flu.
You got the flu. God forbid. But now, hey, we're back at the same point now. Now it's
Dude, I
God
was
forbid if you
getting
got the
surgery. Think
COVID.
about this. You
What?
broke your ankle and you need
Yeah.
surgery
Rip.
in 1500.
Yeah, rip. You're dead. Hella dead.
Either dead or they're gonna try to put it
Chop
back in place and do whatever they did while you're wide awake.
or fucking rip off your
They just
leg.
gave you like alcohol.
Yeah.
They're like, here's
Yeah.
some fucking
Yeah,
booze.
here's some whiskey and a stick.
Fucking
Have fun.
moonshine.
Yeah. That
Now
was
I'm
it.
down the pain.
It was be wild. I am happy to have been born American in 1998.
Yeah.
It's a very nice time to be alive.
It's funny that maybe our great grandkids who are living in 2100, they're gonna be like, dude, like, isn't it wild that
Yeah.
like our great grandfathers were talking to each other through a metal box,
Yeah.
through these weird like metal things that like recorded sound. Like
Yeah. What? What?
what?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're just talking to each other like in a hologram, and they're just in a
Yeah.
pod, and
Yeah.
everything outside is just desolate.
Yeah. Yeah. Or everything just it regresses back to Daniel Boone times and everyone has to just like eat beans and mice again. That's it.
Beans and nice. That's a great
Bean-
transition
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
to the film of the week that I decided to choose. My thought process was
I was gonna ask you.
we we did 2 art films back to back. Pretty artsy films, I would say.
Yeah.
Back to back. Kind of similar, like kind of same themes too. Similar
Yeah.
ideas, and I was like, man, those were heavy movies. You know, I'm trying to think of something light. And I'll be honest, I didn't do research before we started the podcast. I didn't really have a choice. So I was like, oh, fuck. And I just said, Stuart Little.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so it just came up on a whim. I didn't even really think about it.
Yeah.
And I just thought it'd be funny because, you know, on this podcast, and I know myself, I have a weird fascination with these movies that are like, okay, real people, and then there's gonna be an animated animal,
Just
and
one
they're
of them.
gonna talk to, yeah, because one of them, like a Casper, you know, like these, you know, Smurfs, the Garfield movie, like there's all, like I'm fascinated by these kinds of movies because
Right.
most of them are outrageously terrible. You know?
Yes.
And I liked Stuart Little a lot as a kid. Like I hadn't seen it since I was like super young.
Yeah.
But and this movie stars Michael J. Fox, my guy,
The boy.
you know, the
Well, the
boy,
man.
man. Obviously a horrible joke.
I was thinking I was gonna say
But,
the shaky
awful
man.
joke. Yeah, mine was worse than that.
Well, I want to know now.
No,
Is it really horrible? Is it
pretty
so
bad.
horrible that I won't be your
Not
friend
good.
anymore?
No, no.
All right, we'll move
Anyway,
on. We'll never know
who has
the genius.
Parkinson's? And
That's not funny.
no.
It's very sad.
And and so I wanted to watch this because I was like, I haven't seen this in years.
Yeah, return to nostalgia.
I'm not gonna lie, okay? Not gonna lie. This movie's actually kind of okay.
Uh-huh.
Did you hate this?
I didn't hate it. No, it's not my thing, right? I'm a 22-year-old man. Maybe a boy. 22-year-old boys. This is not made for 22-year-old boys. I didn't grow up with this, so I didn't have nostalgia. There's a lot of factors.
That was a legit spit take that just happened. Oh my god!
But I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's not like it's not like it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. It's competently strung together. The performances aren't fucking ass. The cinematography isn't fucking ass.
Well, here's what I want to say.
It's all fine.
Here's what I want to say. Is Stuart kind of looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. He does not look like a goddamn monster like you would expect him. He should look absolutely horrific.
Like Garfield.
Like Garfield. He should look like Garfield. Right. But he doesn't. He doesn't. His face kind of creeps me out sometimes. Like some of his facial expressions, like the endearing things that it's supposed to do. Sometimes it kind of creeps me out like a lot. But for the most part,
that's another thing that fascinates me about these movies is like they're kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of weird and creepy because it's like an animated thing and like.
You mean you mean these kind of movies? Yeah.
Weird and creepy.
Yeah. Well, yes. No, I know what you mean. It was before that like CGI was super seamless, right? So they were just like excited about it. It's just like, dude, we can do anything we want to do. Dude, we can make anything.
When did this come out? 1999,
something like that. Yeah, we were one.
The funniest thing ever is that this film was written by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, right. I can't believe. Yeah, I can kind of believe it sometimes. Like some of the speeches, it's just like, all right,
but dude, this is when M. Night was called the next Spielberg. This was
really?
Yeah, man. This is
okay.
So dude, he was like the shit. This is like in the 90s. He made like he made Sixth Sense and then Unbreakable. Like he's making good movies.
So was Stuart Little people were excited for Stuart Little then? Like this was like dude, M. Night Shyamalan's.
I mean, they made 2 sequels. So I think
I mean Stuart Little was successful. It's not like it busted at all. It was successful. Right. But like I guess
I don't know. Okay, let me look up when this came out.
Yeah.
There's one of the Sixth Sense came out in
96. 96. Okay. 6.
Yeah,
6 sounds right.
Stuart Little came out in 1999.
Yeah.
And then the Sixth Sense came out it also came out in 1999. We're both wrong.
What? So, the Sixth Sense came out the same year as Stuart Little?
M. Night had 2 movies in 1999.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
You're not, they come.
No, not true.
So it was, what? So he was writing these films like back to back? That would be crazy. Well, first of all, he would have made shit tons of cash. Like this was a good business decision on his end because Stuart Little did well and they had like multiple sequels. But that is the weirdest thing. That is so weird.
Well, I mean, even weirder than that is like he wrote this movie.
Yeah.
Like clearing out M. Night's movies.
Yeah.
Like all his filmography. Nothing would point to the fact that he would make a movie, a cute, heartwarming movie about a mouse.
Yeah.
Like it's adopted by the Little family.
Yeah,
and it's just a romp.
dude.
None of
Oh
what
my
he's
god.
doing
I
led
have
up
so,
to that.
I have so many thoughts that are flying through my head. Like one of my thoughts is thinking about, I'd love to think that there has to be an article out there now that came out in 1999 when Sixth Sense and Stuart Little was released that was like lauding Shyamalan about like, look at this flexibility that this man has.
Dude,
He can
are
do
you not
anything.
aware of this? Bro, dude, he
I
had
know.
in 1999, he had a Rolling Stone cover and it said the next Spielberg.
Yeah, no, I did know about that, but I'm specifically
Crazy.
imagining like an article that's comparing Sixth Sense and Stuart Little and talking about the range that this man has and like genius,
I know, and
right?
I think that I guarantee I think that was part of
Wow.
calling him the next Spielberg. Because think
Wow,
about it.
that
Spielberg can make,
that's so
E.T., but he
strange.
can also make like fucking,
Right? Right.
Munich.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. This is his ET. Dude,
Yeah.
you're so right.
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
now. I
Yeah. Right.
understand what's happening. This
Yeah.
is literally his ET, and that's what
Yeah.
everyone thought. Okay,
Yeah.
so okay, now I'm wondering, when this came out, were people saying that's like, dude, this is like ET. This is ET.
I don't.
Stuart Little is the next ET, just
What's
like M.
reading
Night Shyamalan is the next Steven Spielberg. And we should also say right off the bat, because we're gonna make fun
a
of him for the
treat
rest of
for
the
the
time.
eyes and the heart.
This movie,
Yeah.
wow.
Treat for the eyes and the heart.
I do want to say just right off the bat that M. Night Shyamalan is a great director for making good movies, but he has gone to shit. And I think we should just shit on him the rest of this podcast. We should only say bad things about M. Night
I
Shyamalan
know.
and just get it out of the way.
I feel
You
bad for
make
the
great
guy though.
things.
You know.
I don't. He's so much money. He's done fine.
Because what
His reputation is
if
not
we
done as
wanted to
well.
talk about M. Night real quick,
Yeah.
you have the money, sure, whatever. But like I kind of feel bad for him because being called, I don't care who you are, but being called the next Spielberg,
Yeah.
ridiculous pressure. Also, like, there was a time where he got really big headed and it went to his head.
Yeah.
And there's actually a really interesting book about that
I would love to
read,
read that,
like
really.
an audio book for a little bit, but like it, he made this movie called Lady in the Water. That's like, I mean, it's one of the worst pieces of shit like I've ever seen. Like
Uh-huh.
it's like really bad. Like it's like not the happening bad.
Yeah.
It is just like,
Approaching that though.
yeah, it's rough. And like recently he's actually kind of made like some strides in making like better stuff.
Split was great. Split was
Split
really
was
good.
really good. And like I thought Glass was interesting and had cool ideas. It just didn't really do it for me. And I go whoa. I know who had the that Apple TV Plus show that apparently is pretty good. It's called like Servant. Apparently it's pretty good. It's like
Oh,
a
I've heard
horror
about
thing.
this. Yeah, I've heard about this.
Anyway, I like to sit on M Night because he made some of the worst things like ever made, like in the
Yeah.
studio system. I mean, it's unbelievable, really. I
Yeah.
mean, it's astounding, like how
Well,
bad movies like After Earth, The Last Airbender,
yeah.
it's astounding how awful those movies are in terms of like the resources that you had.
Yeah.
You made, I mean, like a fucking part, like so bad, like
Yeah.
almost like you forgot how to make it. Like the happening feels like a joke. Like it
Yeah,
feels
right.
like
Right, right,
that's
right.
one of the things I love about it. Like I love we watch the happening like a
I
few times.
loved it.
Like we love yeah we love
I
it.
love it.
It's fucking hilarious. What's the deal with science? But it's just that is so awful.
Yeah.
It's so awful, and the tone is so off, and it's so mesmerizing to watch.
Yeah. It's just really interesting to M. Night Shyamalan is just a really interesting case study because of how just butt fucking fantastic he started and how butt fucking awful he got. And it's like, and
it
it's
really,
such,
to me, it's a case study of fame, and it's a case study of getting too in yourself. I mean, like, really, I mean, like, because Lady in the Water, like, he had everybody saying yes and yes and yes. That movie, man, I mean, it just doesn't work. I mean, if you had producers, that's what kind of producers are for. Sometimes to ground that shit. I mean, that movie probably needed a guy to be like, "Hey, fucking idiot, this doesn't make any sense."
Well, I think the big key thing, which is interesting, because what you want is for these great directors like David Lynch, you want them to be able to do whatever they want to do. You want Quentin Tarantino to be able to do whatever you want to do. But the thing is that what you need to make like good films and make good shit is that you need to fight for your yeses, right? And I think M. Night Shyamalan got in a place where he didn't have to fight for anything to get greenlit.
Exactly right. Yeah, right.
But like, what you need is to say this guy can do whatever he wants, but he still got to fight for it all the time. And that's how, because you need to. It's about the work, and it's just such an interesting. It's just an interesting case. Yeah. So again, the thing with Stuart Little is that you're right. Stuart Little is not Shyamalan going off the deep end, going into his. This is not Shamalamadingdong who wrote this movie. This is Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan did write this movie.
There's no twist. But
surprisingly, there is not. This might be the only movie he's ever written that has no twist.
How funny! Another M. Night thing. I can talk about M. Night forever, but another M. Night thing. How funny is it that he became the twist guy? How fucking funny is that? Like, how dumb is America? Like, the idea that you watch The Sixth Sense and the reason that movie's great is the twist. You're the fucking idiot. Like, dude, that movie, the twist is fucking phenomenal. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But, like, that's the only thing that you, like, the fact that he made this one movie with this really awesome twist. He was known as the guy who makes twists. That is insane. And so, like, now, like, ever since then, he had to, like, make a twist to, like, every fucking movie. Like, what the fuck? Like, that is so... That's another reason probably why his movies fucking suck ass.
Yeah.
He felt like he had to write, like, he had to change the whole movie in, like, a scene.
To fit a twist or something.
You ever seen The Village?
No, I haven't. No.
I'm gonna spoil The Village because, like,
spoilers.
The twist is funny as fuck.
Yeah.
So The Village is kind of like, it's set in this like 1800s kind of town, like a very like New England kind of like witch era.
Sure.
1500. And these like mythical creatures start like attacking the villagers, and they're like these weird mythical creatures. And it's a really cool movie for like the first like half of it, because you're like, wow, this is awesome. The creatures are cool. Joaquin Phoenix, Roger Deakins shot it, so it looks fucking beautiful.
Wow.
You know? And this is coming off of, this is the first little dip that Shyamalan had, because he had Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and then Signs. I like Signs. Some people didn't really like Signs, but I like Signs.
Yeah.
And then this was his movie after that. But the twist is that this village it's modern day. So we think that it's in the 1500s, and the twist is, no, it's actually not. It's modern day, and there's this society that has kept these people here and make it seem like it's the 1500s to do like experiments or like and so these creatures were actually people. They were like in costumes, like fucking with the villagers.
Wow.
I can't remember exactly why, but it's so fucking stupid. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it's so dumb. And the problem with shit like that, like a crazy twist like that, is you're either gonna get like, you automatically just split your audience in half. Like, you're like, your audience is gonna be like, "Oh, that's cool," or like, "What?" Like, you can't like just like, that's just a prime example of like, all right, well, I'm just gonna change the movie
Yeah,
into a
right.
whole other movie, like
Yeah,
from like that. Like, okay, you're
yeah,
definitely gonna lose some people with that. But anyway,
yeah. He definitely went in that trajectory, which
so weird.
just trying to do things that were kind
Still
of
to
like
this day, he still does that, man.
yeah.
It's all that.
I know twists are definitely something that have gotten such a tired
Split was
thing at this
cool.
point.
The split twist was cool too.
What was the twist and split?
The twist in Split was that it was James McAvoy's character was he worked at a zoo. Right, and so he was keeping the girls under in the zoo.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
the big twist is it was in the same world as Unbreakable, which
Oh,
I
right.
remember seeing that in theaters and being like, oh my god. Like that's a
Yeah.
moment that I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
That was really fucking cool.
That was cool. I
But
thought that was cool too.
but
I thought that was super cool.
anyway. But
Um
yeah,
so what are we talking about? Stuart Little? That's the plan. We're talking about
yeah.
Stuart Little.
So Stuart Little, okay, this is a movie that is about
A fucking mouse, dude. It's about a goddamn mouse. It's about a little
an
mouse
orphan
guy.
mouse named Stuart.
Yeah.
And the Little portrayed by Hugh Laurie and Gina Davis.
Which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie is in
Yeah.
this movie. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Gina Davis. Gina Davis is crazy too.
Yeah.
Money. Also, they wanted to adopt a kid for Jonathan Lipnicki, who in the 90s was a adorable child actor that was
Yep.
in tons of child movies. I still contend that he is the cutest kid ever in a movie in Jerry Maguire.
Mhm.
He is fucking adorable in that movie.
He was good in this movie.
He was good in this movie. And you know what's funny is like
I'm gonna teach him how to spit.
I kept thinking about these child actors like Macaulay Culkin, Jonathan Lipnicki, the kid who played Anakin.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all look the same. Like if you look at what they look like now, like Haley Joel Osment, they
Yeah.
all look the same. Like
Uh-huh.
they're just it's like they age, but their their
I know what
body
you
just got
mean.
wider, and their face just got wider.
Especially Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah, he looks
especially that guy.
Yeah.
That guy aged. His face is crazy.
Yeah.
I think his face is really interesting, but it really
It's
did
just
feel like well, it's just weird because it's all like right here in the center of his face.
Yeah.
Like usually like people's features get dispersed as they grow out, but it's like he just had little boy face and then a man head.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
It's so true.
So this pretty star-studded cast, I think, is your point. That we have some people who know what the fuck they're doing.
And ILM did the special effects. If you don't know that ILM, they're like the top dogs in everything.
Well, they did
Star
good.
Wars, Spielberg,
they did a job.
Everything. And so yeah, they visit the orphanage. They're like, "Oh, this is cool."
The Littles visit the orphanage. That is,
and that is the first positive I'll give to this movie. One of my favorite things about this movie is usually in things like this, when there's like talking animals or stuff like this, there's a scene where the characters are like, "Oh my god, you talk?"
Yeah, right.
This movie doesn't have that. Like, whenever like Stuart is introduced, they just look at him like, "Hey man," like they don't care that he's a talking mouse, and like there's something like really charming and really fun about that. Like they just accept that he's just this mouse that talks, and that's like a thing that I kind of like about this movie.
I agree.
It kind of feels like a fairy tale. It's based on a book, so it's very much like a fairy tale. They don't take
Yeah.
it very seriously. Like the production design is very colorful and kind of cartoonish in a way.
Yeah.
Really good production design, but it's just
Yeah.
like it feels like like a fairy tale. It
I
feels
think I agree.
fantasy.
I like that they skip that bullshit because it always sucks when you have to watch that. But
Yeah.
whenever they do shit like this, where they're like, this animal is sentient and has human behaviors like
Yeah.
that, it's like, okay, cool. So mice are sentient on this planet, human
Right.
mice. In
Right.
this universe,
Yeah.
humans evolved and so did mice. I'm with this.
Yeah.
And then the cat talks.
Yeah, right. So here's the biggest consistency. Edgar, what are you doing? So here's the thing. This doesn't make any sense. If Stuart could talk to the littles, like Michael J. Fox being
Yeah,
cool as shit,
right.
and then with the cat, can't
What are you
talk to them?
doing? Are you just stupid? What's going on?
Yeah,
have you
like,
just
what-
have you just not tried?
Also, I love the cat is voiced by Nathan Lane, who I
Uh-huh.
love Nathan Lane.
Yeah, he's
That
great.
voice is so funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, yeah, like, why? So just the mice talk? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But the cat does talk, but
Yeah.
they don't, like, he doesn't talk to the humans. Bullshit.
Yeah. And it's also it just to me, like if you think you can't think about it too much because it gets kind of disturbing, you know? It's just like it's just like, okay, so because here's the other thing. It's like in a real world, a real cat, a real house cat is a fucking psychopathic murderer, right? So think of all the murders that have happened of these mice people in this world. Rampant death.
Snowbell murdered a lot of Stuart's ancestors.
Yeah. And the other, okay, here's the other
tried
thing.
to eat him.
Yeah, right. Minute one, and they talked him down like a dog. Right? It's like, yeah, like that shit works. Like you talk to a cat, like spit it out, cat. It's like, no, that cat would be gone.
Yeah.
That cat,
He'd be like,
that mouse.
He'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. And then
Yeah.
swallow it and then walk away.
The other thing is that dogs will pick up something in their mouth and like just hold it there, but a cat, it goes for the kill immediately. That
Right.
thing, Stuart would not have a head if that cat was a real cat. You know what I mean? But oh, Eva says that cats like to play with their food too. So like so what you're telling me is that cats are fucking ballers too, especially with mice. Anyways, it's a plot hole. We don't have to talk about it that much. It's a big plot hole, but yeah, it is kind of fantasy like.
But yeah, like I enjoy that. And then another like thing that I genuinely like about this movie is that first of all, it's wholesome as shit. I like that. Like it's just purposely just like whimsical and like everything is just kind of except for the end, which like there's some like really like weird like shit that's like so fucking
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where the fucking orphanage girl's like, we found out what happened to Stuart's family. He got squashed by vegetable soup when he was a kid, and then they go to the investigators or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they have the book of like the like fuck up rats and like dismantle rats, and they like show and they're like, oh, like that's fucking
dude
weird.
I think it was even more fucked up than that. I think they had a bunch of pictures of kids who were abducted and murdered, which they then showed to like, this is what happens to your kids when they're abducted. I think that's what that was.
That's actually very funny. Like,
I agree. Yes, I agree. Funny. It is funny.
But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, it's very whimsical.
Super whimsical.
But also, I like how Stuart Little looks. I like the CGI. I like the perspective stuff that they're doing with him. It actually looks good.
But here's my two pieces. Okay, go.
Is that I like how he's animated. Like he has like there's obviously maybe get some motion capture or something, but he actually like feels like he's a real kind of.
He's very tangible, actually. Yeah, he is very tangible.
And like
that's
I think
true.
a lot of it, Michael J. Fox. It seemed like there's a lot of Michael J. Fox isms and Stuart. That's probably one of the reasons why I love this movie so much as a kid. Because I like
Michael J.
watching
Fox, baby.
because it literally was like Michael J. Fox in the mouth.
Yeah.
And so like I like that. You know, he feels unique amongst other like CGI animated characters. Like,
Yeah,
like in this game.
I mean, I think the thing that they have going for them is I wouldn't say I like the CGI, but it works in the film. That's how I think it definitely works. At least there was never a point where I was like, "Wow, that took me straight out." Like in Casper, most of the time when I saw Casper came on screen, it's like I'm out of it, dude. This guy looks crazy. But like I didn't feel that way about Stuart. But like there was a
Okay.
But I think that
part of the podcast now the light goes off.
Just moment like just breaks every once in a while, which is nice because we kind of collect our thoughts in that moment.
Right.
But like I agree. I think Stuart works. I think the CGI works at all points. And I think the other thing that they have really going for it is that they really did make him feel like a physical being, which was very important because a lot of times CGI shit just does it. They just feel like weird floaty blobs that are just sort of like on top of the screen.
Right.
And also Michael J. Fox is just charismatic as fuck. He just does a good job. He just did a good voice acting performance.
Right. Yeah. He was in the sequel. He was also in the third one.
Is it actually? No, Squeakquel is Chipmunks. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Dude, that's another one, dude. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
That's a What's a more modern one?
Fascinated by.
I've never seen them. I would watch those with you.
Never seen those?
I've never seen them. I would watch them with you though. I would.
Dude, those are my god, those are so bad, man. Oh, yeah, we gotta watch those at some point. Oh my gosh, yeah, I can't believe I haven't thought of that yet. Because I loved the first one when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I was like 10, like 9 or 10.
Man, you were into these movies.
I don't know what it was. I love the Garfield movie. Like we're gonna review the Garfield movie at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, legendary. I haven't actually. I don't know if I've seen that.
I think that movie is fucking so bad, but I love it. I just love everything around it, like the story behind it, how Bill Murray signed on to do it.
Yeah,
it's so fucking funny to me. But I don't know what I was saying.
Were you talking about
Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Yeah, you were talking.
The sequel. Yeah,
that's what I was.
Michael J. Fox is great.
Dude, what are we doing here? Why do we? What's all this shit, dude?
The Squeakquel. Does Stuart Little 2 have a subtitle? Let's see.
I feel like it has to. Like, what movie made in that time doesn't have a subtitle?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Stuart Little 2.
Really?
This one I like a lot because he's skateboarding on this one.
I think I remember more of Stuart Little too. See, I think the nice thing about the sequel. Here's the thing. The thing about the Stuart Little. The moments where we were hanging out with Stuart Little, the character, and we were just doing like his shit. And like he was doing like the weird acrobatics. Like, what does it make me think of? I mean, it makes me think of Back to the Future, where it's just like Back to the Future antics, but it's miniature and he's a mouse. And when he's doing just Stuart Little shit, it's like, okay, I can get to this. It's like the action was pretty good. There were some creative shots in those moments.
About this movie is whenever it's Stuart talking to the cats, dude. I also love it that they combine my two favorite things: these CGI animated things and real animals trying to act. It's like my favorite thing in the world. Like watching, like because as a kid, I obviously wasn't aware of this, but now, like, I just keep thinking about, like, like the editor and like the director, like how they like edited these like shots together. And like it kills me like every time,
dude.
It's just
I am, as you said that, I am now 100% certain that 50% of that footage was just footage of that fucking cat.
I know. I'm telling you, like, you can't. You can't tell a cat what to do, right?
Yeah, I do have to say though, of most movies,
Snowball killed it.
he like this was one of the best directed like cat
Remember
I've
Cats
seen in
and
the movies.
Dogs?
Yeah, dude, that's a
Remember we
movie
wa-
that I watched. I watched the shit out of Cats and Dogs, and I remember watching it in
Dude,
college.
remember we watched it? Yeah, we watched it together, and we were like, "Why?" Like we were blown away by because we were thinking about this movie would have been bananas to make. Like, what the fuck was it like on set?
On set, you have 7 animals wandering around aimlessly,
And it's a
and you're trying
wild
to
movie. It's
direct
a
them.
wild movie too. Like
It
it's not
really is.
it's not like Homeward Bound or something where it's like one shot. Like it's like a spy movie. So there's like crazy like cuts and shit.
That movie's
So many
wild.
shots.
That movie is really wild. But they did a pretty decent job with Snowbell and all the other cats. I actually was I thought those were some of the more like engaging moments, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't really like most of the interactions with the family and Stuart.
Yeah.
Most of that stuff displeased me.
It's just like really. It's just really like. I mean, I don't have any malice towards it. It's just so. It's just so wholesome. You
Yeah.
know, it's like the most like. Hi, Stuart. Hi.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of like so
It's
wholesome
like
to
the
the
vibe of the movie is just weird and creepy
yeah, and
on
especially
occasion.
well, okay. So the thing with like the family, especially the parents, is they're kind of like Willy Wonka creepy, but like the setting is not Willy Wonka. So it's like I
Right.
feel like the movie was supposed to be more zany than it actually was, but the movie was it
Yeah.
was kind of fairy tale, like you're saying. It was kind of fairy tale,
Yeah.
but it was mostly still a realistic world. So it was really weird when the parents were like the parents in Coraline, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like that was just kind of strange how
Yeah.
zany and weird and wholesome they were. And it kind
Yeah.
of it just made me feel uncomfortable the whole time.
Oh god. Yeah. I completely agree. It's just like I'm looking at my notes for this movie.
Yeah.
And they're wild. I'm trying to decipher.
Like what you meant?
Yeah.
Oh wait, so when you say
At
decipher
one point I wrote, wait, I kind of like this.
you say that like with most bad movies that I have ever
I
watched
know.
with you. You've been like, dude, like, dude, call me crazy, but this is kind of good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just, I don't know. I just have a soft spot for like.
You have an affinity for these kinds of things.
I don't know why.
It's kind of a weird. It's a character trait. It's an important character trait. If you were like a RPG sheet, if you were an RP, you would have like a softness for CGI one character CGI shit fests.
I think I like it because it's like it just amuses me like the idea like how like shooting this movie. Like
Yeah.
how like funny it would be to shoot a movie like this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Gina Davis and Hugh Laurie, you're talking to a mouse. he's on the table. Like, how's it going? It's like, no, I'm not good enough. You gotta be, you know.
Do it again. Do it again.
Yeah, and then the Garfield movie is like the best because it's like this one guy like Breckin Meyer like talking to like air.
Yeah, the whole time.
And then the director goes, "Don't worry, Bill Murray's the cock. It's fine. Just let it." You know, it's just like
yeah, thank God.
The idea of being like nothing amuses me more than thinking about the director going, "Okay, look at this. Uh, don't worry about what you're looking at. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I feel like this movie must have taken
we
the
don't know what
stance.
this is gonna look like yet.
Yeah.
Action."
I feel like this movie must have done a decent job at doing a physical. I bet they had like a figurine of Stewart
Yeah, that
and
makes it
Michael
that
Fox,
that's even funnier to me too.
which it
Like,
would.
have you
Oh
seen the video, the clip of the dude who played Rocket Raccoon on set?
no.
Dude, it is like it's a dude on his hands and knees, like puppeting like a puppet rocket.
Uh
Dude, dude, I mean, it looks
huh.
hilarious. Like he's in like
Yeah.
green suit and he's like walking on his knees, and like the actors are like talking to this like guy on his
Yeah.
knees. It kills me, man.
Yeah, it's I always find it funny when thinking about like an actor's job because it's been so glorified now. And
Yeah,
you have to think about like Marvel movies and stuff. Think
yeah,
about all the stupid shit that they had to do to make
yeah.
that movie happen.
Think
Like you
about
look
Mark Ruffalo, dude. Who plays the Hulk? Think about that.
yeah, right.
I think that there's a
Right.
picture of him where he puts like a pole on his back. He's wearing like all spandex.
Yeah.
He puts a pole on his back, and there's a giant Hulk head
Yeah, I've seen
above
that.
him, so people know the eye line.
And I mean, so many times these people have jumped like 1,000, like the superheroes jump thousands of feet in the air or whatever. And every time you need to get that shit, thousands, dude, maybe even millions of feet in the air. And when every time they jump, they have to jump and fall like dumbasses on set.
Superhero landing.
That is the actor's
That's
job.
one of my favorite jokes in Deadpool. When he like jumps off the truck and he like he lands. And,
Yeah,
superhero landing. I love that. Super
yeah,
funny.
that is a
Anyway,
good joke. There's no superhero landings in Stuart
Stuart
Little,
Little.
unfortunately.
No.
I think I think that with Stuart, I think the benefit of Stuart Little too is that you don't have to set up Stuart anymore.
Yeah, right.
That's a big downside to movies like this is that
right.
you have to like set up this world.
I think
So
they kind of did a pretty good job for the most part doing that
right.
though, because it's just like it's just like, hey, I'm Stuart, I'm a mouse, and it's just like, oh, okay, you're cool.
All right.
Go home.
All right.
Yeah, it gets pretty into it.
Yeah, I like okay, so
I like the first response that George has to Stuart, and he's like, you're a mouse.
Yeah.
Like, oh, discriminatory.
You're not my brother. This is another movie
You're a mouse.
You're a mouse. This is another movie. This is like another allegory to race movie, you know, like secretly accept everybody. Look, be right. What is the fucking little kid's name? What is the brother's name?
George.
Be like George. Accept the Stewarts in your life. Be open-minded and accept every little Stewart that comes your way. That's the joke of the whole movie.
Also,
little Stuart Little.
How about the part where he opens the door? Remember that? Where he has the room.
How the fuck did he do that?
He did it.
How did he do that?
I don't know.
I like to imagine that in that same article that we were talking about earlier that was talking about the flexibility of Shyamalan's writing, he also has a diagram that shows and explains the canon of like, well, this is the mechanism
on the footnote.
Yeah. About like how Stuart Little's able to open doors. See, that would have been kind of like an interesting thing, I think, to go into, because that was sort of like the charming factors, like the teeth brushing thing where he had his little step stool going into that. They missed out, man.
I feel like they did that more in the second one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I've seen the second one, because that's the one where he drives away in a car with a chicken or something, right?
Yeah. He doesn't really. It's the same car in this movie. He doesn't really. There's not a chase scene in this.
Yeah.
Well, there kind of is. Not really.
Yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, there is a chicken in the second one, right? The love interest is a chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm just realizing how fucking weird that is.
Is it a chicken? Wait a minute.
I think it's a little chick.
Literally.
Am I making this up?
I don't know.
I have an image. I also have an image that there's an animated series of this that also covers the same information.
Dude, you're right.
Dude, that's so,
Well,
that is
I
so
don't
weird.
think it's a chicken. It's a bird.
Okay. Oh, yes.
That actually looks a lot better.
I think that this might be a situation where Stuart Little 2 is better than Stuart Little 1.
We might have to watch the second one.
I'm honestly kind of curious to see if, like, because genuinely I was much more engaged with the moments that were just like Stuart, like almost an animated film, like an animated characters in a real life context.
Yeah.
It's like, and because the animation, the CGI didn't look ash fucking shit, and the voice actors were good at what they did, like it was engaging, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'd be curious to see, like, now to compare it to see, it's like, well, what if they just did all of that? Is it a good movie? I don't know, dog. I feel like we've gotten in too deep here now. I feel I want out. I want out of this Stuart Little maze. I don't think I can go anymore. We have to turn this off. How long have we been going on? We have to get the fuck out of here, man.
I think I broke this podcast. I think Stuart Little.
Dude, I could get through Tree of Life. I could get through High Life. This is the end. This is the end of Thick and Butter. We can't go. We can't do it. Episode 79. I don't think I can. I'm talking about the benefits of, like, so what if it was all Stuart? What if we had a movie that was all Stuart? That would be pretty good, right? That would be pretty good.
Before we end this, did you think that those were Stuart's parents?
No, but I know it's because I remember.
So did that get you? Did that twist catch you?
No, but it is genuinely because I remembered from watching it. It was like, oh, I remember that this isn't. It wasn't like, oh, I know this, so I can't say.
I know this
one. You can't play me this time. I've seen this one too many times.
The only thing I can think of is I love that the imposter parents are like fucking Robert De Niro and Sharon Stone from fucking Casino.
Yeah,
it'll kill me.
Yeah, that's
like, come on, Stuart.
I had an interesting thought about, like, the when I was watching this movie.
Get in the fucking car.
Oh man, there was something about the moment with, like, the fake parents where I was thinking about it being, it's like, if you thought about it, it actually is. Oh, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking about, okay, so if Stuart actually was murdered after being abducted, right? If we go down this track and we make this children's movie a very brutal detective murder case.
So we made our R-rated Casper movie.
Yes, this is
R-rated
exactly
Stuart Little movie.
Exactly.
This
if
is
we're
our
talking
second script that we're gonna write together.
Right. And this one, the last one was by Gaspar Noir. And this time, I think we should talk to our man who wrote Tree of Life.
No, I think we should talk to Werner Herzog. I think we've got this one in the bag.
Dude, he could do this. Hey, and now he's has experience with these semi CGI characters, or not CGI, but like the with Baby Yoda and shit. Yeah, he kind of has some experience with this. Anyways,
he hasn't Baby Yoda anymore.
What?
He has a name.
Wait, don't tell me. I haven't seen it. Don't tell me. I will kill. Is that done yet? I want to watch it. Because I'm
2 more episodes.
Okay, let me know once it's done. I'm gonna get a 7-week free trial. Okay. And I'm gonna binge it. That's my plan. Cool. Okay, so R-rated Stuart, directed by Werner Herzog. Script written by Thick and Butter, obviously.
Yeah, right. Werner Herzog, Stuart Little.
So, and it wouldn't be. This would be like a reboot series, right? So it wouldn't be like Stuart Little 4. It'd be called Stuart Little. Werner Herzog, Stuart Little, written by Thick and Butter.
Yeah, we're taking the trend that's going on with the Halloween.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then we could actually call the next one in the series Stuart Little Kills, That's the because
Right.
he comes back.
Dude,
As-
you know that another movie's doing that? Like Scream 5 is just gonna be called Scream. I'm fucking tired of this shit. Just call
Wow.
it Scream 5, man. Like,
Yeah. Oh
it's
my
so annoying
goodness.
because it's so annoying because Scream is a great movie. Now there's 2 movies called Scream. Get the fuck out of here. It's Scream 5.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Anyway,
super
I
confusing.
hate
That
it.
is super confusing. I agree. I hate it too. It's fucked up. You know what I
Even
don't
God
hate?
of War, the game, like that's fucking annoying too. Just call it like just God of War something. God
Yeah.
of War 4.
Or like a colon something
Yeah,
else, so we
yeah,
can like
exactly.
for
Right.
organization's sake, it's
Yeah,
helpful.
yeah, exactly.
But
Like I have to
okay.
call the Halloween movie Halloween 2018. That's what I
Yeah,
have to
that's
call it.
that is super annoying. That is
Yeah.
super annoying. It is fucked up. So maybe we're still gonna call it Werner Herzog Stuart Little, but everyone will
Yeah.
call it Werner Herzog
Well,
Stuart
no,
Little.
we understand it's a trend in Hollywood that we have to follow through with.
Yeah.
We
Right,
might not
right.
like it, but if we
Right.
want to get this movie
It
sold,
is our duty. It is our
yeah,
duty to get
right,
this movie sold.
exactly.
So my thought process for if Stuart Little was actually murdered when he was abducted, right?
Yeah.
And it was a detective case. It would be really interesting on this detective case to have these suspects being the fake parents. And then it would be a really interesting reveal at the end to sort of unpack, because if you think about it, it's a very convoluted plot that while we're watching it unfold in real time on Stuart Little, it's kind of dumb, right? It's a little bit stupid.
Yeah.
But because it's a kid movies and kids are kind of dumb, so you have to bring it down to the dumb level of most kids. That's just how it do. But if you do this backwards,
this is Werner Herzog.
this is Werner Herzog, and he's smart. Werner Herzog is a smart man, and he says, "Okay, well, we take this stupid shit, and instead of telling it in real time, we tell it backwards, and now we have a smart movie, like Memento." Exactly, Alex. It's exactly like Memento. So Werner Herzog, Stuart Little it takes it where
wait
so
a minute. So Werner Herzog is Stuart Little. So
he voices Stuart Little. Oh, dude, it's like Lovely Bones. So this is like Werner Herzog versing Stuart Little from the grave, and he's like talking about like people finding out about his death. It's like Lovely Bones. Okay, so Werner Herzog is Stuart Little. That's the movie. That's the title. So
Werner Herzog is Stuart Little,
and all it is it's Stuart Little backwards, but he actually is murdered by the cats. But okay, think about it. So this movie starts right where the Littles are distressed about this whole fact that they go to the cops and they're like, our child is missing, right? They go to these detectives and they say,
child.
Yeah, and that's the first thing. That's the first reveal. So it's like, okay, well, who was the kid? What does he look like? Well, sir, he's a mouse. He's a small mouse, and he sounds like a 70-year-old man. It's very strange, but we love him.
70-year-old Austrian man.
But we love him deeply, and we would like to have him back. He has a small car that my son gave to him as safekeepings when we took him away. It's like, okay, well, when did you last see him, family? Well, we last saw him right when my son gave him this fake car, which somehow has a magic engine in it, which he could turn on with a little mouse key. And we gave it.
No,
we gave them.
It's not a wind up.
How the fuck telling me that whole chase every once in a while Stuart Little just stopped and wound up his car? That's what was happening.
It's a fairy tale, dude.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale, right? Okay, it's a fairy tale. Well, you know what? Werner Herzog is Stuart Little. It's not a fairy tale. This is a gritty, grimy crime film.
Directed by Werner Herzog himself.
By Werner Herzog. So then they find that it's like, okay, the suspect is probably this fake mouse family, which has abducted him. And they go through this and they talk to him and they're just like, no, actually, it wasn't us, dude. We didn't do it. We're simply people who have been conned by these other people who have who have been pressuring us to do it. It's like, okay, well, who's that? It's like, it was the cat gang. And they're like, oh shit. And that's act 2, right?
Well, this
cat
is
gang.
the movie.
Right. I'm telling you, this is all Stuart Little, but it's backwards. It's backwards because we're making it smart.
So this is all the beginning of it.
Yes. So my point is that we're going through this, but instead of having this set up,
telling me that we should just do Werner Herzog. as Stuart Little, which is flip the whole plot
Yeah,
backwards.
because think about it. Because then you have the reveal where the end is that you discover the person who killed Stuart Little was Snowbell, and Snowbell was with them. Like you have it. It's a perfect setup where the family's like talking to the detective, and it's just like our little masked son who sounds like an Australian man. He's dead. He's gone, and we miss him. Right? And then they come back around. They come back to it. It's like it was Snowbell. It was you this whole time. How could you do this to us and our small mouse child?
And then it ends with a good old Gart piano chord.
Yeah.
So,
Right. The end. We also should probably switch Snowbell to be a female character so we could advertise this as being a film noir, and Snowbell is the femme fatale.
Yeah.
The feline femme fatale.
Right.
Honestly, I think this is pretty good. I think this is pretty clever. I think this would work.
I think I'm gonna quit this. Get Werner's email.
Yeah.
You know, shoot him an email. Just say, hey man, listen.
Yeah.
We came up with your next project on this podcast, and we really like you to. We really like to be in business with you.
I like that your opening phrase is that we have come up with your next project.
Yeah, right.
It's not like, hey, we have something that we think you'd be interested in. We have come up with what you are doing next.
No. You will 100% say yes. We have
clear your calendars, because this is what you are doing in your immediate future.
You know, this fucking documentary you're making about Antarctica is over.
Fucking drop it right now.
We got it right now. Anyway, thank you guys. How long have we been talking?
It's been a while. This has been a long, because we talked for about other shit. I mean, it's been 2 hours. It's
2 hours.
We've talked for 2 hours before.
All right, man. I think this is it's time to call it quits.
So this is a complicated question. Is this did you like this movie? Would you approve?
No, I mean, I don't know.
I think that this is, maybe we'll say, not quite thick and butter approved.
Not
let's just say, you ready? You ready? You look at me.
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Okay, you're paying attention?
Yeah.
Okay. Not quite thick and butter approved. Kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer.
You know, it's not thick and butter.
Right, not thick and butter approved.
Yeah, it's proceed with caution.
So next week.
Yeah, what do you want to watch next week?
Let me slam you up with the next film. So I'm being a lazy man. And I was thinking, I've thought many times about like what film we want to watch next week, but I didn't actually think about what film to watch next week. I just thought, I should think about what film we should watch next week, and then I didn't think about it. So it was really convenient when you texted me today and you said, "Hey, dude, there's a David Fincher film on Netflix."
Oh yes.
So let's conveniently segue to my non-research and say, let's watch this movie called Mank. Mank.
Yeah, let's watch it. It's a new David Fincher movie on Netflix that I'm fucking. I mean, dude. David Fincher hasn't hit after hit after hit after.
Yeah.
Hit. He hasn't made a movie since Gone Girl.
Which is crazy. That is really crazy.
This movie happens to be about the screenwriter of Citizen Kane.
Which
I
is
don't know
really
much about
interesting.
I don't know much about that story, so that's pretty interesting to watch, but I don't know anything about that story.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, fuck yeah. So
let's
watch it. I want to watch it.
So one of the things is that I saw it was in black and white, which excites me. I like that.
Cool.
The other
I
thing,
haven't even seen a trailer for it. I
haven't either.
I
You
kind of like that.
Me too. Your words that you sent to me was the first time that I don't even know why the fuck it's called Mank. M-A-N-K.
Yeah.
Mank. Why?
Like,
Mank.
it might be the guy's name. I don't know.
Yeah, Mank, our last name. Oh, we should even look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah, that's
it's a 2020 release.
yeah, which is cool.
Yeah,
We haven't done
another
that.
one.
Do we have we done that? Because I haven't seen.
We
We did Palm Springs.
We did Palm Springs. We did Charlie Coffin.
Okay, yeah, we've done a couple. We've done a couple. Yeah.
Those are like streaming only movies. We haven't done one that was going to come out on theaters.
Yeah, we could. I really wish that I had seen Sonic and we could have done a podcast on that. Just because, how funny would that be? Like if theaters,
I know.
Legendary.
Sonic. I mean, if we were still in school, that would have been like a legendary review. Because think about it, we would have had Garen come on, and Marcos, and like, and I would have been like, I liked it.
Yeah.
I would have been like, fuck
dude. Yeah, missed opportunity.
I kind of like it.
Maybe we'll have to do a re-review of Sonic. Dude, you know what we should do? You know how when we had Jared on and talked about love, death, sex, and robot,
yeah,
and
right.
talked
Yeah,
about like 5 years.
That was like early in the pandemic.
Yeah, it was. I think when we said, we promised that when in 5 years we would do that thing again where we checked up on. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah.
So that we have solidified, we put it in stone. In 5 years, we're walking Sonic of the goddamn fucking Hedgehog. Ugh. And we're reviewing our lives.
There'll be like 8 movies. There'll be like 8 sequels by then.
Oh, dude, you might be right.
All right. All right, leg for next week. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. This was a wild podcast.
It was.
Our movie theater's dying. Let us know. Did you watch Stuart Little? Did you like it? Do you think that Stuart Little 2 is better? Let us know.
Then we might watch it.
Should we review Stuart Little 2?
Yeah.
Please let us know in the comment section. Send me a text. Hit the fucking like button.
Yeah.
Fucking subscribe.
And after you're done being so fucking enthusiastic about watching Thick and Butter, go out and spread the word about it to other fellow apostles who might be a part of our amphibian and avian club. Which includes
not aliens. I don't fucking like birds.
Okay, we're taking that out of our demographic. We're exclusively amphibians. We're exclusively amphibians, as well as mothers and uncles and fathers and sisters. Mother, this is a mothers only podcast. You know what? Actually, this is an exclusive mothers podcast. Only for moms. It's like
only for moms.
Only for moms.
All right, everybody.
We love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.